You just showed up, homie.
There we go. Howdy, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Book Club, music edition of Book Club. Today we got metal, any subgenre. I had to specify because people are like, hold on, that's not metal.
I was just giving you shit.
But yeah, no, I figured, because metal, you say, hey, metal music, and to everyone, it's something different. When someone says it to me, I just revert back to my youth and what I grew up listening to in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, and I'm just like, yeah, I get everyone has their little gatekeeping, like, fuck you're not metal, new metal isn't metal, but then I'm like, fuck you, yeah, it is, so,
Yeah, I actually, I got into a discussion yesterday with my fiance about this. Anna, I love you. And I don't like black metal, for instance. However,
racist.
She likes black. Dang, appreciate it. It's all the church burnings in Norway, quite frankly. I've read Lords of Chaos, don't worry about it. But she likes black metal, and so she was putting black metal into our shared playlist, and I was like, okay, I can kind of do this. And I was like, I was going to add Carpathian Forest, and I misread something she said. I don't know if it was a language thing. And I thought she called me soft for adding Carpathian Forest. I was like, excuse me? Did you just call me soft for adding Carpathian Forest? I feel offended right now. I felt like I was being shown the fuck up.
What did she say?
She's like, are we doing grindcore? Like, excuse me? What? She's like, I'm adding Napalm Death, Terrorizer, Exhumed, Rotting Christ, Dying Fetus. I'm like, shout out to them.
See, I would look like a bitch compared to the people that like listen to that stuff. I'm like, I want to listen to Deftones.
Oh my god!
Shout out Cream NATO who couldn't make it.
Shout out Cream NATO.
That was his original choice. We were gonna continue talking about it. But I'm like, that was his choice. I feel like he should be here to talk about it. So last minute, we got Kenzo down here to show up, and he picked a great album. And it's funny because either album would have connected in my brain somehow. Deftones, actually, I saw Deftones and Gojira a year or two ago, and I'm like, oh, perfect. We have those two bands in this episode, and I'm like, I just saw those two, and I could talk about that show. Hell yeah!
Still wrapped.
I got,
by the way,
I got one of our albums on
classic
on vinyl right over there. I'll bring it up when we talk about it. But
let's go.
Oh, what was I lost my train of thought.
Kill Switch.
Whatchamacallit, seeing Gojira and Deftones. If we'd continue with Deftones, I would have talked. I still am going to talk about the concert because I have a quick thing to say about Deftones live versus Gojira live. But we'll get.
I was there for this.
We'll get to that when we talk Gojira. And yeah, shout out Kenzo for showing up and last minute and choosing an album. And luckily these guys knew the album. I had to listen to it on my morning drive. I had to listen to it, but. Good choice, because
it's a good album.
It is a good album. I was gonna say Bullet for My Valentine. As I was listening to that, I'm like, this is giving me Kill Switch Engage vibes, because my brain only associates with certain things, and I don't know much. Right. I don't know much hardcore music.
That's
whatever.
Metalcore. Yeah.
Exactly. So
it's metalcore. It's metalcore.
All right. Sorry,
so.
I don't know the subgenres.
It's still metal. We've moved from rock to hard rock. Metal to heavy metal. Metalcore is considered heavy metal. It's hardcore and metal. So in my brain, as I was listening to here's the other goofy thing. I thought Bullet for My Valentine and My Chemical Romance was like the same thing. So for some reason, I kept thinking Bullet for My Valentine was a emo band. I don't know why I thought that this whole time.
Carry on.
Romance.
So I saw Kill Switch Engage at a My Chemical Romance concert with The Used.
With the youth, so was this before Howard Jones was with them?
Chaos. It was the first year the Taste of Chaos tour was out.
So Jesse was still with them. It was Jesse,
no,
and Howard, then Jesse again. Oh, it was Howard. So
it was Howard.
I guess it was End of Heartache. I guess around then. Okay.
And Howard has a band with like Jared Dines now.
Who's Light the Torch?
Yeah.
Dines is a famous YouTuber.
Really?
Guitar YouTuber. And he plays drums. Yeah.
Wow.
Him and Matt Eafy of Trivium as well. Oh my gosh, Will Ramos of Lorna Shore also does stuff with him. It's it gets around.
Right on. I actually just saw Killswitch Engage last year or the year before when they were touring with Slipknot.
Nice.
So it's,
I've never actually got to see them. To be honest,
Oh, dude,
Killswitch?
Killswitch is great.
I would really love.
Pretty spot on. It's
Yeah,
pretty,
they are.
Yeah.
They're really good.
pretty spot on. Yeah.
I thought
Both
they were
with
good.
Howard and with Jesse, as they have been for the past 8-ish years, because they still bring Howard on sometimes when he's there. Like they'll do the Signal Fire together because Howard appears in that. He sings the other two verses.
Yeah,
It's a good song.
it was a good that was a good show. I think they had not Howard but the other guy Jesse was
Leach.
the singer at the time when I saw him
A
last
lot of
year.
the metal bands I've seen was when I was younger. Like I'm in my 40s now, so in my concert days was like 15 to 21. I saw quite a few bands though, like some of them not so metal. I've seen the Foo Fighters a couple of times.
Right on.
Like
They're good.
I saw Pantera. I saw
that's
Pantera when with Dimebag.
Sick.
Yeah, RP.
Like,
that
was cool. Seen like Cold Chamber, Fear Factory,
Dude, those
Soulfly. Yeah.
Soulfly.
Yeah.
We're in
seen
Soulfly right now.
yes.
I almost chose Soulfly instead of a Gojira song or Gojira album. I was gonna choose Primitive if I wasn't choosing Gojira.
Do the Primitive.
Fucking amazing.
If you guys had to choose, just a real quick question. If you guys had to choose a Max Cavalera band, which one would you choose?
Easy. I'm wearing the shirt.
You choose Soulfly.
Because
Probably Sepultura.
I was going to do Sepultura. I imagine now Kenzo just to
I'll
be.
probably go Sepultura.
He was going to choose
I'll probably go
Cavalera
Sepultura.
Conspiracy. No,
the Calvera Conspiracy. That was pretty good.
It is pretty good. Him and his brother, yeah.
Although recent Soulfly has kind of gone back to
Back to the primitives.
back to old school metal. Actually, there was a good chunk in the middle there that they were real old school metal, and the recent two that they just did, he hooked up with producers that were saying, "Hey, go back to old school Soulfly," so he got more groove riffage going on, and that's my specialty.
When I saw Soulfly, it's when they first come out, like in the 90s.
Right.
I think it was like
Back when Max was singing with
from Logan from Machine Head was in the band, right?
Oh shit! Okay,
he might have been.
Was that the drummer?
Yeah, like in the no, guitarist.
He was
Oh,
guitarist.
okay.
Yeah.
I actually
back when.
This is in the 90s. This is like yeah.
So Machine Head was kind of in the late 90s. They had like this weird sabbatical type thing that happened.
Oh yeah.
And then they got back together, and then they released the Davidian like in the mid 2000s. Because their lead singer is a bit whatever.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's
a bit strict about stuff.
He's gone through some shit. He
has gone through some shit, but as they say about alcoholics.
Oh yeah.
There's nobody that's more critical of an alcoholic than a former alcoholic.
Oh yeah.
So
it's
that kind of thing. He calls out people like
This
Corey
singer's
Taylor all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Thing. Phil Anselmo's a bit like fucking like that too.
He's a bit like that too. Yeah.
But speaking of Soulfly, that was my second concert that I saw post COVID.
Oh hell yeah.
COVID happened, and then in 2021 was when I saw the first. 2021 was my first post-COVID concert. I was like, screw this, everything's locked down. I'm gonna do the most metal thing and go to a fucking concert.
Let's go, baby.
And the first one I actually saw was Flaw. I don't know if you guys remember that band from the 2000s. Yeah, they're still killing it. That guy's took the band into his own hands, made it independent, and put on a good show, man. It's kind of a shame. I saw them a couple times after that, and I actually saw them with Edema. Do you remember Edema?
I do remember Edema.
They toured together.
They haven't put out an album in a while.
No, they have a different singer now too. It's not.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You guys see who put out a music video?
Which one?
Last week, Kitty put out a music video just this last week.
I think they're putting out a new album.
Reunited.
It just randomly showed up on my YouTube.
Yeah, Kitty reunited like the beginning of this year, the end of last year, after again like 12 or 14 years. And they're putting out a new album, except instead of looking like they're in their mid-late 20s, they look like they're in their 40s, because they are.
Yeah.
But, those chicks can get the fuck down. I'm cool
Oh
with
yeah,
that.
I loved Kid. In hindsight, I used to love that first album.
They
but
were ahead of their time.
hindsight, when I listened back to that first Kitty album, I'm like, ooh, her vocals haven't developed yet. She's still a 16-year-old girl at that fucking point. So
right, exactly.
her
She's
screams
not like
were
White Gloves or something.
but now
you know?
she could scream good. And by the second album, she was doing better. Oracle, she was already screaming a little bit better. But I love the riffs in that first one. I could listen to that one back to front.
Oh yeah.
I'm a riff guy. I listen to the metal for the riffs. If it makes me go, oh, fucking, like...
Oh, we're all four of us, if I'm not mistaken, all four of us are guitarists, correct?
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure all four of us appreciate riffs very much so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
Well,
Isn't that why we listen to metal?
It is.
Hell
And
yeah, brother.
It's probably,
Hell yeah,
and it's
that's
probably why
I'm
we
still.
play guitar, because we listen to metal. We're like, oh shit, this is so awesome. I want to make those
I do not have
riffs.
a problem playing rhythm guitar because I enjoy playing
I
rhythm
like
guitar.
I
'cause
like
the
other
riffs.
music. I like other music too. And if I'm real, if I wasn't so broke this month, I'd be going to see Taylor Swift and Paramore in the UK.
Oh shit!
But yeah,
Alright, you know what? Taylor Swift as Taylor Swift. I'm gonna give this to Taylor Swift. I don't like her music. I don't. No, but wait a minute. I'm not gonna diss her. I don't like Taylor Swift's music. However,
I'm
she
the other way.
and whomever she
around.
has can write songs. It's the same song over and over again. Yeah,
Different level
Swift,
of crazy.
they are. And even Static, to answer
Okay.
your question, Paul,
We're
you're
back.
fine by the way.
No,
homie.
oh no.
To answer your question,
My stream was going. My stream was tanking, but we're
oh,
back.
no worries.
We're good, guys.
In
Oh,
regards to tickets, even nosebleeds for Taylor Swift concerts are like $400.
Jesus Christ,
It's insane.
That's what
It's
I'm saying.
insane,
Dude, hold on.
It's wild.
real quick, Kenzo, what you said brought the devil back from the dead. Devil's in chat saying I knew he would eventually bring up Swifty. He said he wasn't going to talk in our chat.
Motherfucker.
Devil's in the chat.
Shout out Bill's.
Beelzebub. Shout out.
Man.
I missed you, bro.
Miss you too. Speaking of Beelzebub or Beelzebub, actually both. Me and Devil were talking, and when we do bring back the pub before his break,
Let's go.
which we'll do it like in a week or two or something. I'm down.
It is coming back.
It's coming back soon, and it will stay on the hub. We're not gonna go to my channel. We're not gonna do it. It's still gonna be on the hub. Devil gave me the keys to the fucking hell.
Oh, let's go.
So
let's go, baby.
I'm gonna sneak in, and the hub will stay,
nice.
or the pub will stay on the hub, but
We'll stay open.
I will be
Let's go
running it.
at 11 p.m. my time and run for 5 hours.
That's
Yay.
right. We're gonna do a 5-hour show
Dude.
with Party in Hell. That's gonna be the next episode. All night
Let's
party.
go, baby.
But all right. But back on topic. Real quick, Gabs brought up something hilarious. Talking about the Flawed show that we saw. There was an actual moment in that show where it made some of the news circuits the next day. Basically,
Really?
the singer of Flawed was getting mad at the sound guy because he couldn't hear himself through the through the
Typical.
whatever.
Through his monitors.
Monitors.
The monitors.
Which is fine, like he could be critical. And then
Bring your own sound guy.
during right. I mean, he's independent now. He has to rely on the house sound. So
Whatever.
and
McDonald's independent. He has his own guy.
so he at one point stops the middle or between songs. It's like, what the fuck? I've been telling you guys to put up my monitors for three songs now or whatever. There's 3 of you N-words up there. Do something. He didn't say the ERS. He said the A.
He didn't go hard R.
It was an A.
Still.
And all the guys were
Yikes.
white. All the guys were white. But the next day they're like, ooh, Flawed singer was drunk and said the N-word. And it just
He's
died.
Kid Rock. You
It-
can't get away with that kind
Big
of thing.
fucking deal, man.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like Gab says.
Look, it's the U.S., homie.
It was
you
a-
know,
it was
people
a s-
just
It was a small bar show.
Yeah.
He was drunk, and he was pissed off, and it's so funny. I literally told this story to a passenger last week. I was driving. I got in an Uber, and very unsuspectingly, this dude was like suited up. He
and everything, huh?
he was downtown.
Or is it suit? Oh, okay.
No, I was picking this dude up downtown morning. It was like 10 a.m. downtown, in a nice button-up shirt, leaving the office or going for a lunch break. Black dude, not that it matters, but, seeing a black suited dude,
Unexpected.
I do not expect him to recognize my Static X shirt.
Oh,
He
get
gets
out.
in it. He starts like, "Yo, I love Static X." I'm like, "Bro, fucking." We start talking all these bands, and I mentioned Flawed, and I told that same story to him, and he goes, "Wait, was it an ER or an A? You know, an A at the end?" I'm like, "It was an A." And he's like, "Oh man, that's fine." I'm like, "Cool." Even the black dude approves. He's like, "Flawed's my shit." But
There
yeah.
was a period of time in the 2000s where the soft R, the one with the A, was almost going to replace the word dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I was in high school at that time. It was this
Listen,
close.
I grew up in
Nearly
Chicago.
done.
I grew up in Chicago.
Yeah, it didn't really catch on over here.
Chi-town, baby.
We would say that shit in the fucking on the bus through the hood, talking to each other, a bunch of white boys and Mexicans, because Polacks and Mexicans are best friends here on the south side of Chicago. So we'd be on a bus going to the fucking beach, and we're just talking normally. And so many times we say, you know, calling each other bro in the Chicago sense, and it's a lot of times we'd be like, oh, we forget where we are. We're like, oh shit, we're on the hood bus. We gotta shut the fuck up. So, all right,
That's
cancel me. All right, I grew up in Chicago. What do you want?
Homie, you made the intro for Side Scrollers. You're not getting canceled.
Let's go.
Get that shit outta here.
Every white boy that's listened to Wu-Tang and sung along a little bit has accidentally
Look, man, Wu-Tang's for the
slipped
children.
up.
Wu-Tang ain't nothing to fuck with.
Exactly. Old dirty
For
bastard.
the
Come on.
children.
ODB. Wu-Tang's for the children. I love DMX. You know, two up to my homie
They,
DMX.
they
I love
wouldn't.
DMX.
They wouldn't write. You know, they wouldn't write songs for the children that had words in them that people shouldn't use. You know.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Hail
All right, everyone, name your favorite Wu-Tang member. I guess.
ODB. No.
This is Inspector Deck, ODB, Raekwon.
To be honest,
Yeah,
Oh,
Raekwon's got the voice, man.
they all smash.
Method.
I really,
Man.
yeah, dude, I was obsessed with Method and Redman, dude. They had
Method
great,
Oh yeah.
they had great hits in the fucking 2000s, early 2000s. That was the shit,
yeah.
man.
Mm-hmm.
Critically
I know.
underrated movie is How High.
Oh man,
Oh yeah.
hell yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Movies and shit. Oh,
All right,
that was one
Movie.
of my
Movie
older sister's recipes.
bias.
One of her favorite movies.
You got some weed for this blunt? You got some blunt for this weed? Love it. Alrighty, let's get on to the music. Well, real quick, shout out to everybody in chat. We got people popping off.
Shout
I saw
out to everybody in chat.
DJ Access saying what's up.
Shout out, Seth.
What up?
Cole to Carl saying howdy.
Shout out Adam.
And saying happy birthday to Gabs again, which was her birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, baby. Phantom X saying hail chat and mods.
Hail Phantom, my friend from the GCA, and we're going to be making an announcement very soon about something we're going to be doing in the future. So look forward to that, nerds.
Hell yeah, good stuff. Good. I just entered that GCA Discord community. I'm like, holy fuck, everyone's here. This is amazing.
That's
so,
right. There's a lot of people there. Oh,
great
yeah.
community over
Oh, yeah.
there. Strong.
And if you guys don't screw it up, Static and Kenzo, maybe you too, indeed, could be a part of the GCA.
Aren't they
We'll see.
already in the Discord?
I'm already
Not
in
in
the
the
Discord.
GCA Discord. Are you
I'm
Static?
in the GCA Discord.
I saw
yeah.
Kenzo in both of them. Damn, he's trying to
So then-
gatekeep like a motherfucker. No, I'm kidding.
Right?
So much
Yeah, I've been there for weeks.
I've been
funny story without details. When I first joined, someone tried to gatekeep me out of the GCA, and you know what happened? They were gone.
Oh shit.
So shows who they liked more. Frankly,
Well,
he
you
was
just
doing
tried to
some
gatekeep
fuck-
us.
He was doing some fucked stuff. I'm not doing fucked stuff.
All right.
So,
Well, you did just try to gatekeep us. So no, I'm just
I'm,
kidding.
you know,
He was about to.
whatever. Shout out to 199. Shout out to GCA.
Shout out
All hail the fellowship.
all the nerds, the fellowship. As I eat my pizza. Sorry, guys. All right.
You're good. If you would have told us, we would have prepared some.
I know this is. I was joking. I'm like, this is
God bless it.
Me and Static did say the first time we were going to do a pizza podcast or we were going to do a pizza themed book club.
Oh yeah. I
So
was there for the first episode, and you were like, "We're gonna do a pizza book club." I was like, "Cool, let us know."
yeah.
Let us know first, nerd.
No. It. You know, you gotta just be prepared. You're like, oh shit, I'm going on Paul's show. I better bring
just like
pizza.
Ice Cube.
Better bring
Just like
pizza.
Ice Cube says, you know, you have to get ready. Stay ready. Stay ready.
Exactly. Y'all motherfuckers should have stayed ready with some pizza. Anyways, let's get on with the show. Where do we got it? Where do I got the pictures? There we go. let's bring up
Who's
the
up first?
first
Who's on first?
album.
Quite frankly.
I got Kill Switch Engage. We'll talk about that one first. Oh, you know what? I usually bring up stats and stats. I mean, facts, statistics and facts from the wikis.
I have my notes.
Statistics and facts.
I got some.
Which kind of statistics? The ones that lie?
The ones that say this band sold this many records.
All right, the album came out in 2002. Jesse Leach was singing.
Yes.
But this was which album of Kill Switches?
Alive or Just Breathing?
No, I'm saying
one.
this is their second one.
Yes,
okay, I'm pulling it up now. They were on Roadrunner Records, which fucking dude, Roadrunner. Let's remember when you saw that Roadrunner label on the thing, and you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great.
Kill Switch Engage, Static X, Slipknot.
No, I don't think Static X was on there.
Oh, they were on Razor and Tie, I imagine.
Soulfly eventually got on there, I think.
Soulfly was on Roadrunner. There's
Fear Factory?
lot of good bands on Roadrunner. Fear Factory was on Roadrunner. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, when you saw Slipknot was the big one, you know, and when you saw that Roadrunner Records, you're like, oh yeah. Let's see. This is their second album came out in 2002, which all these albums were 2000 to 2002 that you guys chose, right?
No. Wait, yeah, mine was 2000.
Yours was 2000. Kenzo's Alive or Just Breathing was 02. Mine was 06. The
Is it 06?
Came out in 07.
I thought
Special Edition came out in 07.
Oh, when did the original date of that one come out?
I think it was late 06. It was late 06.
Yeah, 2006.
It was the Hand of Blood EP, their very first ever, which was 5 songs. There's a couple that are on The Poison, was 05. And then late 06 was when The Poison came out.
Right on.
And then Magma's 2011 or 2010?
Magma's 2016. This is
2016.
Yeah, this is the most recent. Yeah, Gojira is the most recent one, and there's I'll get to it when we get to it, but there's a reason why I picked that one. But yes, let's talk about Kill Switch. This one I recognized 1 or 2 songs as I listened through it, because again, I wasn't a big hardcore fan, but you know,
I think the most famous songs off of the album are probably My Last Serenade, Element of One, and maybe To the Sons of Man as well.
Into the Temple, Vita Fair.
Yeah. Temple of the Within. There's a couple of them that they actually that Howard does. You know, like that he'll sing live. I've heard Howard do Element of One. Which is quite good. It's different. Like obviously, it's different hearing him singing just a Jesse song, because like he brings something else to it.
Yeah, when they brought Howard in, he brought like really nice baritone, clean vocals in, and that stuff was very good, very good.
I do like the clean stuff that Jesse does as well. I'm not gonna lie, like it does. Yeah,
they both.
And then Adam does a few. Like Adam does a little bit of the vocals as well.
Yes, indeed, he does.
Static, what'd you say? They both sound what? Identical?
Both of those singers sound pretty similar, but like what Jake was saying with the baritone, like Howard brought the soul.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've heard someone compare him to. They said he's got an operatic sound to his voice almost.
Opera? Oh yeah, like opera. Yeah. That's funny. Yeah. I was saying that as I was listening to what I did was I was listening to My Bullet for My Valentine, and I'm like, yeah, if you just sing like an opera, this is Kill Switch Engage. So I started like,
yeah, Howard has that kind of like dramatic, operatic sort of warble going on to his voice, definitely. This is before this is Jesse.
Okay, this one is Jesse. Okay.
Yeah, this is Jesse.
Yeah, this one.
The first 2 albums were Jesse Leach. Then Jesse Leach exited the band for reasons. Howard Jones came in, and then their first album when Howard Jones left, and he did. Can't think of the name of the first band, but they had a split with their drummer, and then they did Light the Torch. And then when Jesse came back, they did this album, Incarnate, which was 2016. That was their first album back with Jesse.
Right on.
And you can easily tell from like Incarnate to like now with Unleashed, which came out a couple of years ago, like Jesse's vocals severely improved. His cleans and his gutturals improved dramatically.
Yeah. Because I mean,
yeah, definitely.
When Howard comes in and shows you up, you're like, oh well, I gotta step it up now, you know. So and he did for real. Because right now, I thought you guys said that this was the first, or as I was reading some shit because it said during
Howard performed some of these songs, but I don't think he recorded any.
Yeah, but they said quickly recruited Howard like pretty much right after this album.
After Jesse. Yeah, Jesse had to exit for some
personal and health issues. It says here too.
Yes.
So, and as I misread that, and I'm like, oh shit, wait, I thought it said this is the one they recruited Howard for, and I was like, dude,
I was
like
like, Heartache.
Yeah, and I'm like, whoa, like, but then and then I flipped it back, and I'm like, you know what? You could have told me either singer sang on this album, and I would have been like, okay, yeah, that's.
Yeah, that's the thing with some of a lot of the metalcore that come out around that time as well. Like, you know, like how Dave Grohl is in a lot of bands, or Adam is in a lot of bands. The guy from
Adam D.
Killswitch.
Right.
Yeah.
In the green room, I was telling Adam D about, or telling Static how Adam Dunkowitz, Adam D, hooked up with Jesse Leach again when Adam broke his back on tour in 2010, I think. And he hooked up with Jesse Leach, and they did Times of Grace.
As I Lay Dying as well was a good band.
Yep.
I could get into that.
The lead singer fucking lost his damn mind.
Boy, did he. So Tim Lambesis in 2013 attempted to hire a hitman to kill his wife.
That guy.
And he went to Craigslist or something, wasn't it?
Jail for 7 years. It ended up being a female cop, so they arrested him immediately.
Holy.
And he went to jail for 7 years.
I remember that.
And he's, Austrian Death Machine 3, or Triple Brutal. Austrian Death Machine was his side project. Triple Brutal had just come out. And, they were kind of on hiatus with As I Lay Dying. And then they actually reformed in 2020, which was very interesting. They came out with Shaped by Fire. They're Christian guys, or a Christian band, and only one member decided that he couldn't do it, and that was their lead guitarist. He decided he had to exit. He couldn't be a part of it. But then they got back together. They released Shaped by Fire, and they're coming out with another album this year. And then again, Tim Lambesis continued with Austrian Death Machine. They just released Quad Brutal, and his current wife is doing some guest vocals on there. I'm like, interesting. Somebody has decided to marry Tim Lambesis.
Someone else married him.
Interesting. Yeah, they're married. Yeah, Danny Lambesis. It's his wife. So,
wait,
you know what? He's squared away with God. That's
yeah.
Good for him. Sure. Who am I to judge personally?
Was there any standout tracks for you guys off this album as you gave it a listen? Was there anything?
Oh my goodness.
A particular one that you liked?
Dude, this album was in a constant rotation with Atreyu, From Autumn to Ashes, Poison the Well, all the Zao albums. Like I listened to this album and the other one, the End of Heartache or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Like all the fucking time for like 5 years.
Yep.
What's the other one? Is As Daylight Dies is the other album.
Daylight Dies. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You knew I was drunk if I'm throwing on My Last Serenade.
Dude. Yeah.
Well, I think, like, for me with this album, you've got the sort of, traditional metalcore where you've got, your light vocals and heavy vocals, sort of My Last Serenade, Temple from the Within, and Element of One. They're kind of like that. And then you got like some that Vide Infra and To the Sons of Man. They're both just sort of like stomping, rock out, fucking thrashy, all the way through, blast beats and shit. Like, I like them too. Especially To the Sons of Man. It's like 2 minutes long or some shit. It's a real short one.
Really quick one. Oh yeah. Just
I like them too. Like, yeah. But I think the one I honestly listen to the most off this album, even if I'm just throwing it on one of the devices, is probably Element of One.
Oh yeah,
because I can sing along a little. Yeah.
Element of One is a great sing along, and
I really love the studio version with the acoustic guitars at the start, because whenever you hear them do it live, they don't really bust out the electric guitars to do it. But I really like that.
Funny,
and there's another track on there like this, the similar vibe. It's called Without a Name. and it's just, you know, like a filler track, I guess. It's just the instrumental, and it's just, you know, on a nice acoustic with some picking, and then just like a haunting sort of solo going along with it.
Heck yeah.
So you basically listed all of my favorite tracks on it. I do want to give a shout out to Self Revolution and Fixation on the Darkness, because I feel like those are nice heavy songs, great intros. Number Days as well has a nice lead into it, but Self Revolution and
Life to Lifeless has a nice
really grabs you.
Yeah, Life to Lifeless has a nice little riff in it as well. Like, it starts off kind of like Machine Gun-esque. And then it goes into like it's just like,
yeah,
I like the contrast between the two, man. That's what I was saying to Paul. I remember rocking out with this in the background as I was playing Modern Warfare 2 like a lot. Like, this one is one and that song in particular, I remember going through like blasting people, listening to Lifeless, definitely.
That song is when Kenzo got the most KD ratio, because he'd fucking just
that's right.
No, but
that's
I just listened to this album this morning, so I don't know track titles or anything, but like when you just done the riff right now, I'm like, oh yeah, that was a good one. And then the songs that I recognized as hits and stuff like that. But this album was full of just that metalcore, breakdown riffs that is really what killed nu metal. Nu metal had this. I was still holding on. I'm like, nu metal's gonna come back, but all these shitty bands like fucking Saliva were coming out, killing the genre, and then here comes metalcore with its fucking badass breakdowns and shit, and all my friends are just like, "Yup, I'm going over there," and I'm like, "But I don't like the vocals over there."
I imagine again, as all four of us are guitarists, we all probably felt similarly around this time in the early 2000s with metalcore, because so many of the songs just dance around the fourth fret. And the hooks and the riffs just chill there, and you can just fucking bang them out over and over and over again. It's just, just really hold on to that. It's good stuff.
Yeah, my band at the time, excuse me for burping. Excuse me.
You're fine.
It was like a sneak burp in there, and I was like, I heard it, and I'm sure they heard it. The band that I was in during the, like with my childhood friends, we all started a band when in like 2003, 2004, and we played all throughout the decade. And me being the nu metal guy, I freaking just wanted to bring nu metal riffs as much as I can, but I constantly kept sneaking in metalcore fucking, those. But you know what? I'm the person that's like, you know what? Fucking Fear Factory has been doing the metalcore breakdown for decades now, so this is not new. And I kept going, why would I listen to metalcore when Fear Factory's right here? I'm good. I'm going right next door to Fear Factory.
And I know, like, over the past like 8-ish, 9-ish years, there's been a metal resurgence. Certainly, like the past 4 years, there's been a big metal resurgence. But it was kind of dying off in the 2000s and into the late 2000s. And I imagine, because we all probably experienced the same thing, again in like the early to mid 2000s, breakdowns became gay. It was a gay thing. It wasn't cool to have breakdowns in songs anymore.
I never fucking went through that. I never heard that. What the hell?
I heard it.
It was only
somebody who did slam and grindcore and death metal, like breakdowns. In my high school years, they were considered gay, which is like, why?
That's hilarious.
That's when you go and crowd kill the most.
Dude, we're like the same age. It was all about breakdowns when I was in high school.
It was all about breakdowns, but anybody else who wasn't into metal thought it was lame. It's like, look, you have no idea when a little 4-inch splash gets tapped.
Oh yeah.
What the hell is about to happen in here?
And then the China coming in.
The China.
Oh yeah.
Splash into the China. Yes. People are like, people who don't know. They're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
If you don't know, you'll find out.
You'll know.
Show.
It's funny. Dempsey in chat says, real question, did the guitar player do the crab hold that is so stereotypical of the core bands? And I think it wasn't the crab dance. It was eventually they started doing that little like jumping thing together. That is when it became gay.
They would jump. That
Not
was
just
lame.
jump,
That was-
but they would
that was
alternate
lame.
their feet. Like they would do
yeah.
You remember that? That was the gayest thing ever. They were trying to go all hard, but they're like digga, doing alternating. Like that was if
Like,
you
I think you're thinking of like
spamming
the story
zeros.
of the year and
Yeah.
shit like that.
Oh,
Maybe. I don't know.
Spamming zeros and then a little 5-7-8 riff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
005. Yeah. Yeah. I'm guilty of that too. As a matter of fact, like there's been music playing in the background. A couple of my metal tracks. Sure that there's a couple metal
Sure.
fucking
Sure.
core riffs happening in the background right now.
Shout out to a band of mine that I really enjoy. I know Static really enjoys. Atreyu, I'm pretty sure when they were touring for the Crimson, they definitely did that stuff because that was 2005. That's still
Yeah.
so popular.
That was also when the glam thing kind of started going.
Yeah, which was odd. One of my favorite bands, August Burns Red, they have 2 Grammys. Don't worry about it. I grew up with them in Pennsylvania. They come from an area where my father's side of my family comes from, and Jay, their lead guitarist, gave me my first guitar lesson. I was a teenager.
No shit.
We're roughly the same age. Yep. I grew up with those guys. The same thing as I was speaking about on the first episode of Book Club with Rivers of Nile. They're also from the same area, and I'm homies with those guys.
Right on. Good stuff. Yeah. What else?
So why did you go with this album?
Yes. Good question.
Yes, good question.
Kenzo.
There's
I've
good
done-
Killswitch albums.
Yeah, like I'm Killswitch are one of my favorite metalcore bands, and this was
Oh,
the
yeah.
first album I heard of theirs, so that's why I went with it.
Okay, nice.
Right on.
Mm.
Right on. Good choice.
To be fair, I probably listened to End of Heartache more than this one. But,
yeah, but so did everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of the more mainstream one. If you were to pick a Killswitch,
Yeah.
I am glad that you did pick this one because I am less familiar with this one, and yeah, I'm sure I probably actually know most of the songs on the other one, even having not heard it myself, just being around other friends and stuff.
You can
Anybody who
tell
grew
they
up in
didn't
metal,
quite have
yeah.
the production budget for this
Right.
one. they did
It's
on-
not as clean.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
But
got
I don't have a
washed
problem with
over.
that. It still sounds really fucking good.
Mhm.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I actually love the older non-production sound or like the less production sound because
Like early Soulfly, for instance.
early Soulfly, early everything. Even the album Static chose Zayao. How do you pronounce it? Zayo. That was more of a lower production, but I love that sound. I don't know. And Gojira's first album sounds like that too, and I don't know why. I'm
Opeth's first album. If anybody's into Opeth, like
right on.
oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I
that
love.
was when we get into that Zayo one. That's the first time I'd ever heard that.
Okay.
That's the first time I've ever heard of Zayo as
Same.
well. So I have questions.
Right on.
Same.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, no, yeah. This album freaking phenomenal, full of those chuggy riffs and also like the faster like
Yeah, there's some thrashy stuff. There's some like melodic metalcore stuff. Some shouty and singy.
Yep.
Some shouting and singing. Great way
Yeah,
to put it.
that's and I will.
Right, yeah.
I will say that kind of. I mean, I'll be talking about this the whole night because all y'all albums is metal. It's more metal than what I'm used to, and
Emo screamo.
emo screamo. Yeah, that's what it sounds
you
like to me.
literally chose the album of a band who decided to stop being death metal. That album.
Yeah, exactly.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
Yes.
Exactly.
Stop.
That's
They
why.
stop being
That's why I
metal.
chose it. That's why I fucking chose it. That's the most. That's the one that was able to grasp me and take me.
Because you're a stoner.
I
And
am.
They're like,
Yeah,
anything
it's-
above
it's
120 BPM,
over
get the
trash.
fuck out. We're not playing that shit.
I do like the slower stuff, but no, it made me like I need stuff for my brain to connect to. And when I heard
course, man.
when we get to Magma, I'll explain more. But like that was the album that like introduced me to more like heavier stuff, and that was just recent. Actually, the Fortitude one that came out 2020. basically 2020 happened and I got really back into metal. The whole 2010s, I was listening to nothing but fucking this artist called Solar Fields, which is just ambient fucking music. It's the soundtrack from
shoegaze solar stuff. Okay.
not even. This was just ambient electronic music. It's the guy that made the guy that made the Mirror's Edge soundtrack.
Oh, very nice.
So the guy that made the Mirror's Edge soundtrack, I've been listening to all his stuff for like 10 years straight, and it wasn't until 2020 when literally like Static X came out with an album, and then Gojira's Fortitude came out, and I'm like, I kind of like I like this shit. Made me listen to Magma, and I was like, holy shit, Magma's fucking amazing. And then I just kept going backwards and backwards, and I see the as I was going backwards, I saw it getting heavier and heavier, which I know that means they got softer as time went on. But I still think that Gojira has got it. I don't care what people say.
Yeah, it's slower, but it's still down tuned. There's still good vocals.
He's trying to do more
calling
clean.
Him soft is like, maybe someone who's uninitiated might think it's softer, but. Right. I was just jabbing you with the slower stuff. Slow stuff can still be hard as hell. Obviously.
Oh yeah. Like, but we'll get to that, and when we get to that, any last closing thoughts on this album though, before we switch over?
I need to listen to it more. It was actually I hadn't listened to the full album all the way through in some time, and I think I need to do that more. I had it on while I was doing some artwork. I'm working on a project at the moment. I've been storyboarding. And working on an animatic for like the past 3 weeks, and I've just started animating this week, so I was getting stuck in today with this in the background, and it was enjoyable. Listening to 4 albums in one day was definitely it was good.
I've been loving doing all these book clubs because it's forcing me to not only listen to music, because I alternate between movies and music, and forcing me to watch movies I haven't seen in forever. It's forcing me to listen to stuff I've missed out on, and so I've been loving doing this book club thing, because everything current and new, not everything new is great. Back. Like, you think think about the 2000s, and everything that was coming out was great. Games, movies, music. Dude, we were on fucking top here. The U.S. was killing it. I mean, UK too. They got it. But fucking, we were the entertainers of the world into the 2000s, and fucking, we were just. Oh my god! And I feel like such an asshole for hearing Killswitch Engage back then, because we were in the height of fucking. Oh, everything's so great. So like. I get to fucking dog on something because I'm not a big fan of its vocals or whatever. But now I listen to fucking metal of today, and it's like, what's that fucking gent? Everything's fucking. It's a derivative of fucking metalcore. And now it's just gent.
Yeah.
Oh god, I hate those fake Instagram guitars.
Isn't that a meme by Jared Dines?
So actually, the term gent, DJENT, gent. That chugging has been around for a long time, but Jared Dines really popularized it with Does It Jet. He started doing that like in the like 20 teens,
and now
20 teens,
and the meme
really became popular.
And the meme is
real. The meme's real.
And now but I hate this new wave of Instagram guitarists who rely so heavily on post-production and all that, and they're just doing like I'm like, okay, go play that live, asshole.
And the thing that really chaps my ass is some of them are so good that you can pay attention to their hand, and you're like, you're not playing the high E. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're on the wrong fret. You're not playing what you look like you're playing.
Oh god, it drives me nuts.
Like Tim Henson, amazing guitarist. Like Polyphia do have some bangers, but like there's so many people just trying to be
Polyphia.
Tim Henson.
Yeah.
Or Ichika Naito. There's a lot of Ichika Naito clones out there as well.
Or
and it's good. Yeah, it's good. It like undeniably talented, but like I've heard fucking Tim Henson when he was like 16 doing metalcore. The guy can fucking shred. Like, and some of their early stuff as well. To be fair, some of the early Polyphia stuff is just basically melodic. Prog metalcore.
That's why I'm such a big fan of Jason Richardson, who's a couple of years younger than me, but he is a machine on the guitar. Ollie Herbert, may rest in peace. when that he was with All That Remains, Phil Labonte. When Jason Richardson was with Animals as Leaders when they were younger, when he was 17, Ollie Herbert was like 41 at the time, or 30, 39, 41, something like that. And what saw them playing, because All That Remains was headlining, because Animals as Leaders was quite young at the time, because they were all young. And Ollie Herbert goes backstage to Phil, and he's like, dude, you got to come see this. And takes him out to the side of the stage to look at Jason Richardson play. And Ollie Herbert looks over to Phil, and he's like, I've been playing and teaching guitar for 30 years, and I will never play as good as this guy. Ever. Ever. And Ollie Herbert was a fantastic guitarist. His wife murdered him. I'm just sneaking that in there. Even though the case is still open, but I'm not involved in it, so whatever.
Jesus.
And he was 43, 44 years old, and that's why All That Remains, they came out with the cover of the Thunder Rolls in 2017. Their last album was then, and that's the reason they've taken such a long time to come out with new music. They came out with Divine back in April, and the new album should be releasing in like July, I think. But Jason Richardson's there, and he has been touring with them for a number of years. He's so good. He's so good. It's amazing. I first found out about him when he, funnily enough, was covering Chiron off of Overcome by All That Remains, and he nailed it. He played it perfectly, note for note. It was fantastic. I'm like, this fucking kid is incredible. So to hear that backstory, like, the guitarists of today, like if you're our age, 30s, nearing 40 in your 40s, if you're like 15 or 13 or 15 today and you start learning guitar, you're going to be way better than anybody that was born 10 years prior. You just have the internet, you have Rocksmith, you have so many other tools. Every guitarist that's coming up today is amazing.
Yeah.
And they show it off.
Yeah, true. I don't compare. Like I'm a very particular, I'm almost a bass player posing as a guitar player, because I don't really do many.
Every bass player does so.
Leads. I don't do many leads and stuff like that, but I just find what grooves. So if somebody was to like, here, play something, I just like, they'd probably get bored watching me play, because I don't really go nuts or anything like that. I can't do fucking scales or nothing. I'm self-taught.
There's so many shredders out there. What we need in music, just generally speaking, is we need good bassists. We need really good bassists, like not people who just play bass, but people who can actually arrange music, music theory and things like that.
Right.
And we need rhythm guitarists that can stay in the fucking pocket and make the lead sound good, because you need a solid rhythm guitarist to stay in the pocket, to stay in time, because it makes the lead sound good. We have plenty of
crazy shredding. Yeah, it gets boring. It gets boring. You want something melodic,
Right. For us, Dimebag was nailing it on Cowboys from Hell, and everybody wanted to be a groove metal shredder.
Yep.
But then there were too many after that. But we need those. We need those hooks. We need those riffs. That's what gets stuck in your head.
Yeah, riffs and hooks.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You're right. That's literally how I got into metal, is hearing those riffs and those hooks. That just Phil from Pantera said, he's like, everybody always looks for that money riff in the songs. So I said, make every riff the money riff, and it's like
the money riff.
There you go. Make every riff the money riff, and that's kind of been my fucking
I like
thing.
that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
that's what Dime did, man.
Dime did do that. He fucking legend. Like it's all about, like you guys said, staying in that pocket and finding just something that just grooves and hits, and that's one of the reasons why I kind of stayed away from bands like Kill Switch and grindcore or metalcore and all that stuff.
Right.
Because I was like, no, man. Like there are like the breakdowns grooved and all technical. That. But it's more technical, and it's more all over the place, and I wasn't there.
There's time signature changes.
Right.
Just
saying 4/4, 4/6, or whatever.
Right. I mean, but I did listen to a lot. Like I listened to Tool.
The 6/8s going back into 4/4. Like it's
7/8. I was in a band that wrote a song that broke down into 7/8.
Right on.
7/8
broke down into 7/8. Really interesting.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I've done something like that too. I loved fucking with time signatures.
Well, you like Tool very much.
I do like Tool,
but,
yeah.
I mean, Lateralis, just as an album, is just time signature changes.
Oh yeah.
And I know my fiance, whom I love, and myself are big fan of Dream Theater, which, you know, that's the joke. Everybody who likes prog is a fucking pussy or whatever. But, you know, Dream Theater has songs where, like, they have like 130 time signature changes.
Jesus Christ.
Songs. It's insane. It's insane. Watching like John Petrucci, for instance, play, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. You know, when they recruited Jordan Rudess because he's such a fantastic keyboard player, such a great pianist, he could keep up with like Mike Portnoy and John Petrucci, and he was writing insane doubling parts for John Petrucci, and they're just like, let's just see what we can do. And man, that stuff sounds amazing. I love it.
Hell yeah. We got an important question in the chat by D-Day McLean. Shout out to everybody in chat. I got a bunch of, there's like 11 people watching. I think it's the most concurrent viewers I've had.
This is an important question.
So yeah, Kenzo, what's your favorite Taylor Swift song?
Love Story. Really like what, man?
He's like, we're all serious talking about music I love, and now I have to put on this.
Look, I gave Taylor Swift to do in the beginning, so now I get to make fun of it. I get to razz you.
Cruel Summer's a banger as well, you know.
Okay.
Oh my god.
I love it.
Alrighty. Well, let's finally switch over to the next album. We've
sure
been freaking sitting on this one.
Right.
Got a blank space, baby.
Next one is how did
Is it The Poison?
It is The Poison.
More emo screamo.
Emos. Wait, why the heck isn't it? Oh, there we go. What the
I
heck?
can see it fine, homie.
No.
Wait. Why is Devil giving the sad faces? What's going on here?
Oh no! Is it because I picked something that was a little too?
No, I think it's more
guys?
Taylor Swift.
Let's address the elephant with this album.
Okay, what's
their biggest songs on this album are not metal. It's more like Finch, and that
all these
screamo,
things I hate revolve around me, which is not very metal. Is definitely
like there's even times where they kind of sound like Poopa Stank and Puddle of Mud.
Paul, you sound a little robotic, by the way.
Am I?
But like they've got some great metally riffs, and this is another.
Which album are we talking about here? By the way,
we're talking about Bullet for My Valentine.
Okay, that's the one that's on my screen. Okay, yeah, cool.
But like, and I was gonna say, this is another one of those albums where you can tell, that they didn't have much of a production budget at all.
Right.
This might have been the rawest sounding one of the group. Did we lose Paul?
No. Just my screen was not sharing properly here. Sorry.
Maybe kill the cam.
No, hold on. Okay.
We're doing it live, folks. By the way, like the stream nerds.
Yes. Thank you.
But personally, I think Bullet for My Valentine got better with as they.
Oh yeah, even with Scream Aim Fire, which came out directly after this, it's I think is a better album technically.
It just reminds me of Guitar Hero. That one.
Of course, because they had Hand of Blood in the first Guitar Hero. I'm pretty sure.
Scream Aim Fire was in
Scream Aim Fire as well.
Yeah.
Right. And World Tour, of course. Yeah, there's been a number of Bullet for My Valentine songs in the various Guitar Hero games. But so Bullet for My Valentine is a 2006 or 2007, depending on what you want to say about it. Metalcore album made by the boys in Brixton. Bullet for My Valentine came out with their EP Hand of Blood in 2005. They took two or three songs off of there and put them into the Poison.
Sorry. Oh, it says on Wikipedia that they're Welsh.
They're Welsh.
Oh, they are Welsh. They are Welsh. Excuse me. I've heard Matt speak constantly. I'm like, he doesn't sound Welsh to me. Sounds like he's from the Northwest Midlands. Around Brixton. But okay, I'll accept it. One of my favorite bands, Skindred, is Welsh, and they do Welsh reggaeton metal, and I really like.
Oh yeah, Skindred's the shit.
They do just sound like an American metalcore band to me.
They do.
I thought they were until I found.
Mm-hmm. There's a handful of songs where, in my opinion, as an American, I can hear some of the clean words being said, and I can tell that they're obviously not American. But still, again, just a fantastic album. I mean, they were popular enough with their EP, and I don't know if it's because they shared. I don't know if it's because they shared the same management, because they weren't on the same label. But their intro, which is about 2.5 minutes, is just instrumental. It has Apocalyptica on it, which is a fantastic symphonic metal band. And so yeah, this album came out shortly thereafter from Hand of Blood in 2006. They came out with the deluxe edition, which had like 5 or 6 more songs. It's like a 17-song album on the deluxe edition, and it's like 3 hard songs, a light kind of romantic song, I guess, in like the early 2000s metalcore way of romance, which is, breaking up and watching your lover do drugs or cut themselves or smoke themselves to death or what have you. But the reason I enjoy it so much is not just because this was one of the big bands now, I suppose, that I discovered when I was, again, in my early teen years, and I was introduced to it. Most of the metal music that I was introduced to was through watching. I played World of Warcraft for 17 years. Watching Rogue PvP Machinima and the metal soundtracks on there. That's how I discovered like 20 bands I could probably list off the top of my head, and this is one of them, because they played Hand of Blood in one of them. And yes, it's a girl album, I guess you could say. I would have called it a girl album back in the day, because all the lyrics for basically all of the songs are about relationships in some way, shape, or form, in the kind of immature, saccharine way that teenagers in the early 2000s thought about shit. They thought every breakup was the end of the world. They thought cutting themselves would get attention, that kind of stuff. However, the songwriting in the technical sense with Jay, and it's he's been their lead guitarist. He still plays the same guitar that he got custom made for the Poison. He plays the same plays the same one. Yeah, he still plays the same guitar. It's been 20 years and he still plays the same one. The scale or the fretboard just basically looks like dual pistols on either end, on the high end and the low end, with the woven flowers, the woven roses and thorns going all the way through. And his songwriting, the riffs, I think, are genuinely really, really good. The riffs are really good. The hooks are really, really good, especially leading out of Her Voice Resides, which is after the intro, and then going into 4 words to choke upon. Like, that's a genuinely good riff. It invokes feelings of like maybe the Hammer horror films of the 60s and 70s. It invokes that kind of like emo gothic sound, that feeling, that tritone that everybody likes to grab a hold of, that Tony Iommi really popularized Black Sabbath, and brings it up to the modern day, makes it faster, puts some distortion on it. Sounds really nice. And again, the lyrics can be depending on your age and your maturity, I suppose, if that's how you want to look at it. I'm doing my best to be as open about it as possible. Again, can be seen as kind of like a girly album, or like kind of a gothy emo album in that sense.
It made feminine men. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, exactly. But the artistry of it, like the guitar playing, the drums, genuinely good stuff.
Oh yeah. I thought I mixed this with My Chemical Romance. I thought it was a screamo band when I was about to hit play, but then it starts going, and I'm like, oh shit, no, never mind. This is good. You
also almost did it earlier when you said "My Bullet for My Valentine."
Oh,
I was like, he almost did it. So.
Well, see, I think my brain.
I had.
Go ahead, Kenzo.
What's this?
I was saying I had heard "Tears Don't Fall" prior.
Everybody has.
That was the
Everybody
only
has.
song. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's the one that I knew of this album before listening to it. Yeah.
So I think Romance and Valentine got mixed in my brain. So I'm like, oh, it's the
There's
same
definitely
band.
romance in the lyrics. That's for damn sure. Especially like, and you know what? Even though I did call them kind of like girly and like teenage and emo and stuff, with songs like Room 409, with songs like Hit the Floor or Spit You Out or Cries in Vain, or especially 10 Years Today, there's some genuinely hard-hitting lyrics in that. And again, they kind of let us down towards the end before we get to the acoustic interpretation of All These Things I Hate Revolve Around Me, with again a very teenage boy thing to do when your girlfriend is getting messed with a song called My Fist, Her Mouth, Your Scars, which, of course, because again, every relationship is the end of the earth when you're in high school.
It's
How old were they
whatever.
when they made this?
Excuse me?
how old were they
when they made this?
So, as far as I'm aware, they all went to high school together, and they're all roughly the same age. And so, if this was 2006 when this came out, they would have been like 19, 20,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay, that makes
I know
sense.
Hand of Blood came out like right after they got out of high school, like
Okay.
right
Okay.
after they finished secondary school. Excuse me, there, Kenzo. Right after they finished secondary school, and they were about 17, 18 years old. That's when Hand of Blood came out. So this was right after that.
That's grade 12 for you Canadians.
It's grade 12 for us Americans, homie.
No, we say 12. We say 12th grade. They say grade
senior year.
or we say
Oh,
senior, junior.
I see.
Yeah, and they say
Yeah.
grade 12 or whatever. No, yeah.
Dude,
But-
Dempsey nails it. Bullet for my sevenfold romance.
Oh my goodness gracious! You know what? I should have picked the Beast and the Harlot. We should have, or City of Evil. Excuse me. I absolutely should have picked City of Evil for this shit. I would have been 2 years earlier and way more on point.
That's good. But you know what? Again, whatever we thought at the time, mid 2000s was fucking peak emo, screamo age and all that stuff. So
yeah.
it really does represent the time, and and it really created a lot of abusive boyfriends.
Oh my god! Oh my god, dude! I had a conversation about this a few weeks ago. You're absolutely fucking right. It's unreal. It's unreal.
You find abusive boys and they usually listen to shit like this.
Yeah, it's what, again, like, this is what, like, girls listen to this stuff. Okay, I'm gonna pay attention to the lyrics. Oh, okay. It turns out when you're an adult, you're like, if a boy is acting like this towards his girlfriend or towards like his girlfriend's friends or whatever, like, you're a piece of shit, dude. Like, again, my fist, her mouth, your scars. Like, don't do that.
May as well just
Don't
call
worry-
it
don't, like,
call it abusive relationship.
yeah, abusive relationship 101. Oh my god, it's
So
like
do you think
listening to
that-
fucking Trapped.
Do you think
Goodness.
that's why August Burns Red wrote that song?
What's
The
up?
one big one.
Well, August Burns Red, in case nobody knows, they're Christian guys, and a lot of Christian-inspired lyrics. Same thing with Jesse Leach and Adam D of Killswitch Engage, and we'll get into other things in Zeo. Do I think that's why August Burns Red wrote that song?
Because I would have been right about the same time that all
I
of
think
this.
that was on Constellations. That would have been 07, so it would have been nearby. Maybe, I don't know. Again, they're my age roughly, so they would have been about like 14, 15, they would have been about like 17 years old again.
If you guys haven't heard I don't even know the name of the song, but August Burns Red, their very first album was a song about domestic violence.
Yes, yes, it was. That was a thing.
That was the thing.
That
We
was a
like
thing indeed.
beating on women in the 2000s.
That's
Well, it's
not
about
what
how it was
it's
bad.
about,
Oh, okay.
but-
It was about how you shouldn't do that.
Good,
Right,
good.
it was
Because
how you shouldn't do that.
okay, good.
This album is like
A bunch of Christians were singing songs about beating their wives. It was amazing.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, it was fuck. If you went to like a modern evangelical Protestant church and they were playing August Burns Red, oh, it was hilarious. It was
The
great
NBA,
stuff.
they had a deal with the NBA a few years ago where they used their music in between, like when they were kicking off and coming back from commercial breaks.
Huh.
Really?
Yeah.
And what did August Burns?
It must have been through whoever the record label was,
or-
but I just knew the song. I used to watch a lot of basketball because that was my job, and
Okay.
you just know that song whenever every single game for every NBA team, when they'd kick into that commercial break, it would play a bit from that song, but none of the lyrics or
It
anything.
would play a bit from like I think it was Mariana's Trench. I think off of Constellations. I think that was it. I think that was the song they played, like the intro leading into the chorus.
Yeah.
Hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh shit. Yeah, man. Chat's popping off. They're all talking.
Chat is popping off.
Metal.
I picked a contentious pick.
I can't. I don't know any '90s death metal bands. I didn't listen to death metal.
Look, I appreciate, if I may, I appreciate D-Day McLean bringing up Entombed, Morbid Angel, Obituary, like, you know, legit death metal. Like, that's the shit right there. Hell yeah. That's the shit right there.
That's where if I turned it on and I was just, that's like I can't.
That's the kind of music you would hate, Paul.
I probably would, but only if I watched Jim Carrey do the fucking scene from Ace Ventura where he plays a Cannibal Corpse.
Dude, George Fisher, Corpse Grinder from Cannibal Corpse, absolutely loves Jim Carrey, and he is the softest teddy bear of a guy
for sure.
And he is so great, but man, when he is on stage, he goes buck wild, and he has my favorite interpretation when it comes to why people love metal music. And metal had a bad rap for the longest time, and it still kind of does. You know, I can wear a Lamb of God shirt and drink out of a Slipknot cup and have tons of jewelry and shit on, like I did when I was on Adam's podcast, Carlo DeGima's podcast this past Friday. But the way George describes it, you know, you can see videos of him like kissing his grandmother and like listening to songs with her and things like that. And he's such a nice guy. The way he describes it is, metal is kind of the way it's always been in a sense, although there was a little more bigotry in the very beginning, like in the 80s and 90s, but it's really kind of wiped away. There are some areas, mainly with straight edge people, which is kind of counterintuitive based on what they say, but anyways, we're not getting into that. Metal is for everybody. Everybody. When somebody comes to a metal show, it doesn't matter what shirt they're wearing. It doesn't matter if they're wearing a Taylor Swift shirt because Kenzo is showing up. What people at a metal show want to know is, when they see you, they want to say, hey, what's up? What are you listening to? And they don't care what you're listening to. They want to talk about the music that you like. They want to talk about the music they like. If you express interest in anything metal, they will just pop off. They'll just go for it, and you'll be their best friend.
Oh yeah.
They'll just accept you in. They're like, hey, what happens in there? You know, when the beat drops and we get to breakdowns and things like that, and people are headbanging and people are doing pinwheels and crowd killing and stuff. You know, nobody's trying to hurt you. You know, back out of the way, back out of the ring, back out of the pit, if you're afraid by it. But don't be scared of anybody, because every single time I've seen somebody crowd killing or in the pit and they accidentally hurt somebody, every single time everybody stops. It's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? Is everything okay? You know, every time I'm at a show and somebody starts getting howls, the lead singer's like, no, stop the man, that person right there, that person, pick them up right now, get them to the front, get them to EMS. Get them water, get them taken care of, make sure they're okay. We all care about everybody else. And we're normal people with normal lives, and we go to shows every once in a while, and we let out aggression. And that's what George Fisher would say. You get up on stage, and he writes these insane lyrics about absolute insanity that I'm not going to repeat the names of certain songs.
Like pissing blood out of my dick or some shit.
Oh my God. And like, you know, anally raped, cutting out of your vagina, things like that. Cutting out of your word for vagina.
Force-fed broken glass. Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. And he's like, you know, this is just to let it out, because in real life, if you're a real functioning person, you don't have an opportunity every day to just absolutely go buck wild at work or something without getting arrested, you know? So you go to a show, you scream along with the vocalist, you're crowd killing, you're in the pit, you're going nuts, and then at the end of the day, everybody brushes themselves off, brushes each other off. They say, hey, goodbye, love you, brother, love you, sister. And they go their separate ways. They go about their week or their month or what have you.
Yeah.
And it's all about love. It's all about family. It's all about the fellowship. That's what metal is truly, truly about. It looks kind of scary from the outside, but the moment you try to pierce that veil and get in there, everybody is welcoming. Everybody is welcoming. And if there's somebody who's not welcoming, all of us, even though we just met you, and there's this person that we've known for a long time. If they're a piece of shit towards you, they're the ones getting kicked out.
Yeah,
because we're not putting up with that shit.
for sure.
No dickheads allowed.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
It's funny. Yeah, everybody has this different. Like if you're looking outside in, you're like, oh, these guys are crazy. You know, my God, of course they're school shooters and shit. It's like, no, this is what's preventing us from being school shooting motherfuckers. You know. And no, but I
okay, sure. We can say that.
Well, like what Dempsey says, pits are therapy. Like,
yeah,
like
yes,
the music's
exactly.
fucking therapy, man. Like,
Absolutely,
I didn't even know what I was doing when I was a kid, and my dad would piss me off, and I'd go and write the meanest fucking riff I could fucking do.
Absolutely.
Like, I didn't even know
Absolutely.
what I was channeling my anger into something else. I was just fucking trying to get back at my dad, right?
yeah,
Oh yeah.
hell yeah. And yeah, no, it's
Look,
it definitely.
them aggressive riffs though, they're not just in metal. I in the 90s and the early 2000s, I spent a lot of time going to raves in the UK, listening to like early
like KMFDM and things like that.
drum and bass. Just like Bad Company UK and Ram Recordings, It was like real dark,
right.
technical, futuristic sounding drum and bass. But a lot of the
Basically,
the
watch
riffs, if you like, and the hook. Yeah. A lot of the hooks and stuff, they're like metal riffs.
Yeah.
Like they're dark,
Absolutely.
but just using different synths and futuristic sounds.
Absolutely.
Some of the stuff by like Noisia, Pendulum, and Concord, like they like this New Zealand band, like they just done like literally metal songs, but just using drum and bass sounds.
Right.
And some of them even incorporated guitars into it. Like, Pendulum do a live version of Master of Puppets.
Yes.
But using
Yes,
all
they do, which is it's great.
And it does work together. Like, and I did notice that being a metalhead and then going over into that. Like, that I did gravitate towards the real dark stuff. You know, like
I would,
and I am
the
going
four
to be
in the
slightly.
morning.
I'm going to approach this from a slightly different angle, Kenzo, and I know this is going to probably upset some people, but Nickelback, the band Nickelback.
Okay.
One thing I will give to them is their guitars sound.
I mean, I'll admit to liking Taylor Swift, but
their guitars sound so good and they're played so well, and they have genuinely good riffs. They have genuinely good hooks. And yeah, you can hate Chad Kroger for whatever the fuck he does, which is
okay.
fine.
It's up to chat. It's up to chat. Shall we kick him? Chat?
Well, okay. So to me, that's kind of like my opinion on Metallica. Like the Metallica guitars and drums, fuck Lars, are absolutely amazing, but I can't stand the fucking vocals.
Right, James.
And because of that, I don't listen to Metallica.
Yeah. Ooh yeah. That sounded like Macho Man.
I can see what you're saying. I give Nickelback credit for writing some of the catchiest shit. You will hate that fucking song.
Yeah, for sure. Their sound
because you've listened to it 1,000 times.
You can't knock their sound.
Right, exactly.
You can't.
There's a reason they're so popular. Only people that popular can be hated that much.
Dempsey, Saint Anger is the greatest album Metallica ever put out.
Insidious Bliss. Can we kick Dempsey, please?
No. Leave him in. I actually love Saint Anger, unironically.
Shout out Dempsey. Saint Anger has some good songs in there. And when they did Symphony and Metallica 2 a couple of years back, they played All Within My Hands, and they actually let Kirk have a 12-string acoustic solo in it, and it sounded good.
Right on.
Good.
Jesus, I do love seeing like live videos of fucking Lars playing drums, just doing terrible fills.
He's
terrible.
So bad at it. He can't fill worth a damn.
He can't even do the fucking one fill anymore.
Oh no!
You hear nothing during that. There's no kick during that. It's
Or instead of hearing 8 hits, you hear like 6 or 7. It's like, what are you doing, dude? It's the same part 8 times.
Yeah. It's 6 one time, 7 another, 5 another.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, frickin' James Hetfield's right forearm is gigantic because he's fucking downpicking everything like a madman.
It's like, go upwards.
We have drummers. We have drummers in the world now, like El Esteperio Siberiano.
Oh
like
my god, who's a machine?
With one hand and
the fucking YouTube guy, right? Dude, that dude's
a couple months ago, he absolutely is amazing. He's incredible. Like 6'6" Samus was looking at some of his videos live on Twitch. What the fuck is this guy doing? This guy's amazing. Came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that guy is fucking killed doing Slipknot fucking intros with one hand.
Yeah, with one hand.
One
He's doing
hand.
Joey Jordison parts with one hand, which is
Amazing.
insane.
Yeah, like you said, anyone who's like 15 now and starts learning music, you have the world at your fingertips. You're gonna be a fucking
yeah.
beast. And I'm sure, I'm sure that dude's younger than us, but fucking killing it. Fucking hell, man. Yeah, that guy's an amazing drummer. Yeah. Fuck y'all, Saint Anger's amazing. And also, back to what you were saying about Nickelback, Dark Horse is amazing. Dark Horse is a great album. It sounds like Seven Dust to me.
Dude, shout out Seven Dust. I mean, one of my favorite songs by them isn't even like kind of their style, but Angel's Son.
Oh God, yeah.
They wrote after their head
Lynn Straight
of security and Rhodey was murdered. Like,
yeah.
What a beautiful song. Good.
Can I make a non-humble brag?
Okay.
You may.
I played a show with Seven Dust.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Really?
So we were playing. It was just this little bar, and they were actually there to check out this other band we were playing with for the record label, and they happened to play us. They just randomly decided to play a set afterwards.
Nice.
No shit.
And then we went,
Get out.
and then we went on the tour, and then we went and hung out with them on their tour bus afterwards and smoked like 7 or 10 blunts. Like it was just
Sick.
Hell
Oh, that's
yes,
awesome.
homie. You know he has dreads for a reason. I'm telling you.
My band actually played, not opened up for on the same stage, but there's a place in Milwaukee called the Eagles Ballroom / The Rave, and it has like 2 floors. I think there's
dual stages.
Yeah, I think there's a stage on the second floor, but on the first floor there's a big hall, big main stage, and then there's like a bar area to the side where there's a kind of a small stage, and that's where like the local bands played and stuff. And we were on that little stage, and that day on the main stage was Hatebreed and Soulfly.
Oh my gosh!
So
shout out Jamie Josta of Hatebreed. My goodness.
Oh yeah, Hatebreed was another.
Talk about keeping it independent, man. Whew. And that's that. You want you know we're talking about metal and metalcore. You want to talk about like actual for real hardcore influence metal. That's Jamie Josta's vocals. That's straight up New York hardcore. That's exactly what it is.
Oh yeah.
Concrete Confessional. You know, it's yeah. Listen to that. Listen to the Concrete Confessional. Do that.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it was cool because that show when we played it, I think there was an opener right before Hatebreed. I think it was Hatebreed and then Soulfly playing, and then right before whoever the opener was before that, I guess must have sucked because everybody left the main stage to come to the bar and watch us, and we looked up, we're like, holy fuck, they're all in here.
nice.
It was a good show. It was great. But yeah, no, it was yeah, Hatebreed, when I think of like Killswitch Engage and stuff like that, Hatebreed was also like right there next, you know, those guys were like kind of the top of the metalcore fucking early 2000s, you know, you couldn't not hear about those two bands. It was great.
Oh yeah.
Hold on, Dempsey says something about Head PE. I love Head PE. I really enjoyed them, but for some reason I always link them with Head PE. I think it was just they play with, dude, I love Head PE, unironically.
I saw them in the UK. Yeah, they were at Ozfest.
Head PE?
I was thinking of Head PE.
Or which band, Kenzo?
Head P.
Oh, Head P.
Oh, Head P.
Dude, no.
Dude,
early in the 2000s era?
I think it was like earlier than that, man.
Oh
it
my
was
god.
in the middle of the 90s,
Damn, you saw them fucking first start out, dude.
Dude, when you brought up Coal Chamber earlier, the second band I thought of was Head PE, you know?
Right on. Yeah, no. Head PE, my very first concert ever, 14 years old.
Oh, get out of here.
House of Blues here in Chicago. It was Head PE. I think it was just Head PE. But then the second concert was Soulfly and Static X.
Oh, dude. What an introduction. Hell yeah. Head P.
Head P, yeah.
Isn't that an R. Kelly project?
That live video of him in Africa performing, saying, "Do you have your passport? Do you have your shot?"
That's the best song. Ethiopians.
Shaka Zulu in the chat.
Hey,
well.
Shaka.
Hey,
Welcome to Gay Club, nerds. That's right. This is Gay Club. Welcome. Shout out, everybody. Thanks for popping in.
That's right.
Oh, wait. Damn it. Oh, yeah. Do you have your passport? Did you get your shots?
Yeah.
Do you want to come home with Rob to America? Best R. Kelly song ever. Wait, where's my soundboard? I need it right now.
Just hit it, man. Doing it live.
There you go. That's our
Doing it
best.
live.
That's our Kelly's best song. Oh shit!
If anybody wants to find it, there's also a video on YouTube of a woman whose father happened to be in prison with R. Kelly at the same time.
Oh,
and when she
jeez.
called her dad on his snuck-in cell phone, he got R. Kelly to sing over the phone to her,
What?
and she was like panties were dropping. I'm like, dude, you're calling your dad in prison, and just so happens that R. Kelly's with him in prison. And they're talking to you over a cell phone. They snuck in. You're uploading this shit to YouTube? Come on. What are you doing?
My God.
I gotta show it off to everybody. I love R. Kelly. Yeah, whatever.
So
Hope you have your shots. Seriously, I do.
So bullet for my Valentine. Okay.
So about them, yeah. And if we want to talk about for a moment,
Sorry.
that Valentine definitely received a bullet because there's a gentleman who's in the doorway. It's never been confirmed if that's like it's presumed that it's the boyfriend coming to discover his naked girlfriend who is in her heels for some reason. So the implication is she was cheating on him, and either A was cheating on him with a really bad guy who murdered her, and then he discovered it, or he walks in,
Pulls an
and
OJ.
then just pulls an OJ. Yeah.
We should have.
So again, abusive boyfriends coming up everywhere. Listen to this music.
Oh yeah. So bullet for my abusive boyfriend, the album. But
This would be the if I wanted to cuddle up next to Shaka Zulu and make him wear some long stripy tights. This would be the perfect album to listen to.
yes, it would.
Very good. Very good.
But no, I didn't. This was a great album. Good riffage. Good. The vocals when they go clean, they use this effect that I always associate with the guy from Dope. It's like a chorus effect, and I always
they
just
put a chorus echo on it.
a lot of not just Dope,
Phase on it.
but yeah, phase / chorus. A lot of what's that? Industrial metal bands I noticed do that
Yes.
style.
Yes.
And I like it. It's kind of a cheat way out to make you sound better, but I like it.
I mean, shout out to Reku Scott and Pachi Lexi Alejo of Children of Bodom, one of my first metal bands ever. He did that, but his vocals were, he's Finnish. He came from that area where he came from black metal. Basically, I know that's more Norway, but still kind of around the same area. And he did that a lot with his singing.
Yeah,
And
no,
he
and
was he was great, in my opinion.
I didn't mean to say it's a cheat, but like it's
No. I know.
it's not an auto tune. Auto tune's a cheat, but it's like a nice little.
No.
Just like I say, a delay,
It's double a little
reverb,
bit,
any effect makes a singer sound better. So that's all I meant is it just adds effect to the vocals, and but no, I do kind of like that whole kind of phase kind of singing, because I was gonna mention that too before. One of the reasons why I just didn't really grasp metalcore and all that is because they did they split up the singing too aggressively or what's the word, like very segregated screaming and angelic
and then
vocals
clean.
there's
Yeah.
no
Right.
dynamic in between, which a lot of I know people will look at Linkin Park and be like, oh, they look like a boy band or whatever, but that dude fucking had fire in his singing.
Chester Bennington, absolutely.
And
absolutely.
Yeah.
and so like
There's a couple of bits where they do screamy with the clean accompaniment,
Mm-hmm.
like
yeah
that makes sense.
yeah
Yes.
the
So
two
that's-
vocalists
there
doing the
I know
same
what you
thing.
mean there is no in between.
But yeah, I look for that in between. That's why I thrive in the new metal era, because you had Jonathan Davis,
Corey
Fred Durst,
Taylor.
Corey Taylor was a master of
Corey
that.
Taylor could easily could go clean into raspy and then back into dirty. Like,
Yeah, but
I mean,
not-
listening to like Sick or Wait and Bleed, like perfect.
but what
Perfect,
was-
and quick too?
What was beautiful about Corey Taylor is it didn't go la 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 or la 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 la. You could hear him go la, 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 la,
Went up,
and
right.
you could feel the wave and all.
And he still does it.
Where it's not that right away go clean 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 and that just pissed me the fuck off. I'm like, somebody do the because I got spoiled with Corey Taylor and the all those
The neck himself. He's got a great
the
vocal
neck
range,
himself,
absolutely.
bro. When I first saw, I'm like, that's what
Homie
Corey
has a massive neck. It's
Holy-
wild.
that-
It is insane.
I remember first seeing Corey Taylor, like when they were still
what
masked
was your
up.
guys' favorite track?
Oh, on this one?
What was yours?
Yeah.
what was yours, Kenzo?
Probably Tears Don't. Probably Tears Don't Fall because it's the one that I knew. But the ones that stood out for me, other than that, the ones that stood out that I can actually remember is the track 11, 10 Years Today. The last one, Cries in Vain, and the second one, Her Voice Resides.
Her Voice Resides.
Like what you said earlier, it's quite. I like the riff on that one.
Oh yeah, the
like
intro
the
riff
beginning part
over Matt just going.
Yeah.
In the beginning, yeah. I would easily say if I had to pick a top three, I would have to pick Tears Don't Fall. It has to be in there just because it's the song off the album of them. I would also choose Her Voice Resides, and then it would be a battle between something more melodic, like All These Things I Hate revolve around me, and Forwards to Choke Upon, because that was one of the first songs I heard. That was one of the two that they brought over from the Hand of Blood EP that I really enjoyed. And that's just holds a special place in my heart because of how young I was and how I was introduced to them. So those are it.
Hell yeah.
What about you, Paul?
I do again. Track titles and numbers are like I listen to the whole thing. So
okay, man.
Basically, I could point out. Usually, I could point out when I was like, I'm not feeling it. I'm gonna skip it. But I didn't have that in any of these albums. Really, like all these albums, I was like, yo, I liked every moment of it. I remember the last track being good. The last few tracks, the last like couple, like I love it when an album ends strong, and I count myself going, oh shit's going hard. How far into the album am I in? And I look and I'm like, oh shit, there's only 1 or 2 songs left, and I'm like, fuck yeah, like
exactly.
Again, like I said, I like albums that front to back are great. You don't want to skip a song, and ones that finish off great, like when it's the song finishes and I'm like, wait, where's the next song? Oh, that was the last song. Damn, that ended fucking awesome. Like, made me want more. So this was definitely one of those albums. I didn't have really any moment where I was like, oh, skip. You know, usually I used to be very skip friendly back in the day, but these days I ain't skipping so much. So I give this album 2 thumbs up, and all the tracks are my favorite.
Only good music here.
Only good music here, for sure.
What about you, Static? Do you have like a top 3 or a favorite?
My favorite track was probably the title track, The Poison.
Okay, very good. You did a little bit behind the scenes.
I mean, it's a fucked up song.
It is a fucked up song. And a little bit behind the scenes for you guys watching. Static reached out to me and he asked me if The Poison was written about anybody in particular. And as far as I know, I don't think so. I don't think Matt, who wrote it, their lead singer and rhythm guitarist, I don't think he ever stated specifically who was about. But I know it's not a more generalized, all these songs are inspired by what the band members had been through. Again, they were right out of high school or secondary school. And as far as I know, it is about a specific person. It's a specific person who he watched after breaking up with her. I think it was him. It might have been somebody else. But it was after breaking up with somebody, watching them basically waste themselves away until they took their own life. That's what it's about. And I'm not sure if it was someone that Matt dated or if it was someone that CJ dated or whatever. It was definitely somebody in their lives. Excuse me.
Deep.
And it hits. It's pretty deep. It is. That's one of the songs where you switch from the abusive boyfriend to the boyfriend who is loving enough to realize that you have to let somebody go because they're just spiraling and you're not helping and it's bringing you down with them, and you pray and you hope that by breaking up with them they'll come to terms with things and get better. But it's either that or they go the opposite direction, which is they continue spiraling down the drain.
Worse.
Yeah. Feels, man, right in the feels. But yeah, no,
about, baby.
Good stuff. Great album.
Yeah, I wasn't looking to skip any song there was, like what Paul said, there wasn't a single album. There wasn't a single song on any of these albums that I was next.
Of these 4, I was listening to every single one of them. Absolutely. I listened to all 4 of them yesterday. Of course, there was White Pony yesterday, but we're not going to get into that. And then when when Paul messaged me earlier and told me that Kenzo was going to be on, bringing in a ringer, I might say, the famous Kenzo. And he was like, "We're going to do a live or just breathing." I was like, "Yes, I know this album, and I'm going to listen to it anyway. Let's go."
Yes,
Yeah, that's what I did too.
Static said the same. I woke up, I read his thing, and he's like, "Oh, I have to go from one album I've never heard to another album I never heard." I'm like, "Oh shit, hey man, if it's cool, man. If you can't listen to it today, cool." I go back to sleep. I wake up and it said, I go from one album that I've heard before to another I've heard. I'm like, "Oh shit, I read that wrong." Oh, cool, right on. But hell yeah, no. I was probably the only one that was new to that Kill Switch album, and it was all good because I had plenty of time to listen to that. But yeah, no, this was like I again, like I mentioned when we were talking to Kill Switch Engage, I'm like, yo, if you just replace the vocals for this with the opera-ness of Howard, it's the same thing to me. And it's funny that.
Hey, man. However music connects in your head is how music connects in your head. That's what matters to you, and that's what makes it important.
Yes,
that's what music is about, man.
I am take what I say with the grain of meth, because
with every shout out Illinois. That's with everybody, man. Everybody listens to music in their own way and feels it in their own way, and it brings people together.
I wonder if we all listen to him in a different. I wonder if we listen to him in a different order.
Oh, interesting.
So I went Gojira, Kill Switch. How do you pronounce the one Static pick? Zeo, and then ended on
Bullet.
This one. Yeah, Bullet for My Valentine.
I was deciding what album to choose because I was thinking I was going to do something more like hard rock, and then Paul told me what the choices were. I was like, okay, I'm just going to switch to metal. So I listened to this one, and then I listened to White Pony, which was before, and then I listened to Magma. Again, I knew all these albums. And then I listened to Zeo. That was my final album yesterday, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was my first time ever listening to anything from Zeo. And then, of course, Kill Switch Engage came up today. I listened to that before I came on, and yeah,
I had
that order worked great for me.
I had plenty of time, so I was actually listening to these albums kind of over and over. But Static was the first guest, and I got booked, and he told me like right away the album that he wanted. So that was the first album I listened to, and his album inspired me to choose Gojira, and that's when I hit you up, and then you chose your. So I didn't really listen to it in any particular order because I listened to them multiple times, except for today. I listened to Kill Switch this morning, but you know, I'll switch orders each day. So, but Zeo was the first one I listened to, and then Bullet for My Valentine, and then so Kill Switch today. So when I was listening to Bullet for My Valentine, I'm like, this sounds very Kill Switchy to me, and then you chose Kill Switch. I'm like, how perfect.
Nice.
But yeah, no, that's how my brain associated things, and yeah, no, I like I said, all the albums today, freaking awesome. And damn it, stupid OBS. And yeah, no.
Shout out OBS.
Shout out OBS.
So I want to point out to something that Shock is saying. He says he likes listening to albums and not shuffling songs.
Yes.
And like the era that these three first out this one, the Kill Switch, and that Zeo one was known for just putting out full on albums that so many songs. There's so many albums that I didn't skip a single fucking song that came out.
They just slapped cover to cover. Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is kind of another reason why I decided to do book club, because I'm like, the album, the art of the album,
it's dying.
It's dead. It's dying. No, everybody's all buying singles.
Everybody releases like 30 singles over the course of a year.
Exactly.
Instead of putting out an album.
So,
which I understand monetarily, or from a record label, or even if you're independent,
right,
making more money. But the art of coming out with a good like 10-song cover to cover just slaps the whole way through album.
Because it was
going away.
Because back then it was a commitment. That was the only way to consume music, was to get the album or hear it on the radio. But if you wanted to hear it yourself, you had to purchase $20 albums, and the $20 was a lot back then. And you know, you had to commit, and all you heard was the 1-2 songs you heard on saw the music video for, and you're like, geez, I hope the rest of these are good. And like the late 90s, early 2000s was just banger after banger, albums of albums of albums, just like that were just front to back. They cared about their product, like the label, the producers, the engineers. They all actually cared about the product because they wanted to make money. You know.
And just to quickly tie into that with another sad thing with the Deathy album, as I've expressed before, I'm a big fan of gangster rap, big fan of Tech Nine, big fan of DMX, and one thing that was lost with rap kind of going the way of the single, just constant singles coming out, were the skits. That
Oh,
were,
yeah.
3 or 4 times
Yeah.
in albums, and some of those were fucking funny.
Dude,
They were
Eminem.
genuinely
Cypress
good.
Hill ones. The
Yeah.
Cypress Hills.
Cypress
Fucking
Hills were
amazing.
great. Oh my gosh.
Oh, dude,
my
the
gosh. I mean,
Eminem
even
ones
some of
come
Eminem's
to
were pretty
mind.
funny.
The first two Eminem.
Put it in the ground and you grow it.
Mhm.
Fucking
I mean, I know there was some
from
on,
Connecticut.
Of course,
Yeah,
Rick Rubin of Def Jam Records obviously produced a lot of rap albums. You know, they had some skits. They had like Def Jam comedy guys, like they had Cedric the Entertainer on some of them, and like genuinely good skits. And those are gone now if your full albums aren't being released.
Yeah, the $20 sack pyramid of
Yeah.
the Chronic album. Yeah.
Off the Chronic, absolutely. Yep. Shout out Dre. Shout out Snoop.
Right.
Yeah,
Snoop
Rick
also
Rubin.
had some funny. Dre had some funny.
Mhm.
NWA didn't. Wasn't there some skits in there?
NWA did have some
Oh,
skits.
yeah.
I mean, quite frankly, oh my goodness, off of Straight Outta Compton in F the Police, the first like minute of that is effectively a skit.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
there's a skit. It's like a 6-minute song. And it's effectively there's skits all throughout it.
Yeah. Shaka Zulu saying like, dude, yeah, skits, outros, skits that introduce
they
the
do
songs.
like a joke song on that album. They do like a country song on that album as well.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do, which is just hilarious. It's great stuff. Listen to the boys from Compton put something like that together.
One of
World's
my
most dangerous group.
one of my favorite things, Kenzo, you mentioned Cold Chamber. I don't know if you remember the end of the Cold Chamber album, but there's just a bunch of Jackie Chan style mistakes.
Yeah.
You know, like
Oh yeah.
where they're like in the process of recording. Dude, I would quote just those skits or the mess ups at the end of it all the fucking time. That like there was Jonathan Davis was in there at the very end talking. He's like, you know what? Demons are real. Talking to the bass player chick. She's like, no, they're not. It's like, yeah, they are. Demons are real. And this is just like,
Davis would know if they were real, so
And
I'll
fuck-
take his word for it.
but I would fucking, dude, I would love those skits so much so that if you listen to any of my like production albums that I did my original band Kill Media in our original like LP that, well, I originally called it an EP, but I didn't know what an EP meant until recently, and I'm like, oh shit, that was a full on LP.
Bigger than a sing, smaller than a long play.
Well, it was a 9-song album, so I don't think it's an
That's
EP.
LP.
That's an LP. We created
That's LP.
we created an LP and we called it the Turn Off the Safety EP.
That's a great title. That's
Oh, yeah.
a great title.
Kill Media,
it's like,
Turn Off the Safety.
one of your favorite bands that Les Claypool fronts. You know, that one of their compilation albums has a great album name. It's those Kraft cheese slices.
Oh, and they all can't be zingers?
They can't all be zingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But they all are.
Just a great name. A great name for a greatest hits album. They
I
can't all
know.
be zingers.
Hell yeah. But no, yeah, at the end of any of my, like, so I did, an album with my original band, and I also did Badanga Bangs, which is a comedy rap group that I did. At the end of each one of those records or EPs, I put our mistakes and skits at the end of it, and it's like one of my favorite things to do now. Like if I ever put out a production of something, listen to the last song, stick around for another minute because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna add a little, little something at the end there. Kind of post-credit roll, the original post-credit roll.
That's right.
Same thing. Korn's "Follow the Leader" did that. If you listen to the last
Yes, they
song,
did.
and then you'd wait a long time, then they talk
Yeah,
about
it's
some
like
shit.
a 15-minute song because it's like a 4.5-minute song, and then there's nothing. It's air.
Air
It's
for
nothing,
12
and then
minutes.
suddenly it kicks in. Yeah.
And then they do Cheech and Chong.
Mm-hmm.
My mama talking to me, trying to tell me how to. Hell yeah, that was great. The Korn covered that. But yes, back to Bullet for My Valentine. Any last thoughts before we move on?
For me, it was one of my intro. Yeah, exactly. Two
thumbs
thumbs straight
up.
up, horns up.
Yeah,
It genuinely. It was at a time when screamo and emo was getting super popular. You know, chicks with fringes and razor cut
I thought you were gonna say chicks with dicks.
Rage
Yeah,
Cut Bangs.
Yeah,
You know,
the
this
Razor
was
thing.
like just almost hit that, but was still in like genuine metal, and I appreciated it for that. Because I cannot stand screamo music at all. I can't stand it, and this is just barely touching it. But there's enough of a gap that I can recognize that it's metal, it's metalcore, and I dig it, and I really loved it. I fell in love with the album.
It's definitely
I still
metal.
listen to it to
Yeah,
this
it's
day.
definitely
Oh yeah,
metal.
definitely metalcore, absolutely.
Heck yeah. And again, I'm glad I'm revisiting all these because I used to be such a fucking stickler for just everything, man. I was such a fucking annoying little fucking cant. Like, I don't like the vocals.
It was good. These were a good choice, to be fair. I was expecting to see, you know, like Pantera, fucking Metallica, Korn, like stuff like that on the list, but it was like different stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I quit a band for sounding too much like Pantera.
Who sounded like too much like Pantera?
I was in a band,
Oh,
and it was just very Pantera-y. And I've never been the biggest fan of Pantera, and I quit the band because I was bored. I was more into the metalcore stuff.
Right.
Right on. Hey, I say metal is like ice cream. You like your flavor. There's no bad flavor of ice cream, maybe.
Right, yeah.
There's some that you don't just not like. Some people don't like mint chocolate chip, and that's fair. You know, I could be a mint chocolate chip addict, and nobody else likes mint chocolate chip, but it's all still good ice cream, okay, guys?
And considering comments that I've made regarding various bands and albums that I really enjoy, the fact that I love vanilla ice cream, that's my favorite, might shock some people.
Oh, shit. Once again, everybody in chat just popping off. Holy moly. Jim saying, remember Nin's Broken? Oh, was it track 98, 99?
Nine Inch Nails Broken, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was 98. Jesus Christ, yeah. And Dempsey saying Pantera probably my number one if I had to pick. Saw them 9 times. Good stuff.
I do love Pantera.
Yeah.
Pantera is good stuff. And Static, I know you said you're not the biggest fan of Pantera, which is absolutely totally fine. And quite frankly, I wanted to say 2 things. One,
fuck
the
you.
fact that you were in a band. No, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. The fact that you were in a band.
You are wrong, but it is fine.
The fact that you were in a band that sounded too much like Pantera, and just as a man, you had to put your foot down and be like, no, I'm not doing this, and you bailed. First off, props to you for that. Second off, when it comes to bands like Pantera, for instance, which are so beloved and so popular, this is the second music book club that I've been on, and I do my best to not pick like very obvious things. Like, I'm not going to pick Cowboys from Hell by Pantera. I'm not going to pick the Black Album by Metallica. I'm not going to pick Rust in Peace by Megadeth. You know, I'm not going to choose Seasons in the Abyss by Slayer. Like, everybody knows that shit. You know, I'm trying to pick stuff that
I'm not
people
going to pick. Yeah. I'm not going to pick 1989 Taylor's version.
Thank you. Quite frankly,
I was waiting for that.
Yeah, I'm trying to pick stuff that either people don't know or I think is underappreciated or people haven't heard in a while, and trying to bring that back up. I want people to listen to me because good music has existed since music has been played, quite frankly.
And since recording
go back to certainly recording. We can go back to the 20s and there was good music in the 20s.
Oh, yeah,
we can go back to classical music, which again, metal and classical go right together, man. Certainly with time signatures and the way they play and the way it's arranged, things like that.
For sure.
There's been good music ever since there's been music, and there's also been bad music ever since there's been music.
Especially today.
Especially today. And if I ever have an opportunity to talk about music, I try and pick something that isn't brand new, that is genuinely good, and is a little bit older that people might have missed, or maybe was underappreciated at the time because maybe the market was oversaturated or maybe it wasn't as popular at the time, and bring that back to the forefront and say, hey, the music that came out in your childhood that maybe you didn't listen to because you were into something else, or your parents had you listening to other music, or your friends were into something else, go back and listen to that stuff. Some of that stuff is genuinely good.
Go try some Rocky Road ice cream. You missed it back in the 2000s.
That's right. That's right. You might have missed out Rocky Road.
If we do this again, I'm bringing a pop punk band that I think every one of you guys will love.
Okay. I'm down.
Shout out to Chi-Town.
Rise Against.
Pop punk.
I almost was gonna jokingly be like, if we get $100 tip, we're gonna do a country book club or a emo book club. Those are the two genres. Those are two flavors.
I wish I had $100 right now just to make you do the emo one.
$500 tip, and I'll take 20% to do the emo. $200 tip, you keep it, and I'll pick a country album.
Oh jeez. No, but no, yeah, those are the two. I eventually am gonna.
Insidious Bliss in the chat. Shit,
No,
he might actually do it.
Get him. No, I know. He actually he was on the last movie book club. I was like, yo, the two themes you may never see happen on here is country music or emo, and he's like, how do I make this happen?
Oh no! He pays like 5 people's mortgages through super chats. Got you a computer. Like, oh no!
Hell yeah!
Here it comes, baby. Everybody, buckle the fuck up.
He sent me. Yeah, shout out to Bliss, man. He sent me his PC and fucking. I dib it the Blissmobile, and now I could play games with y'all.
Hell yeah!
But
Dempsey, picking a good country music song. Randy Travis.
Oh
my god! Like, yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely what I do. Or I might cheat and choose like Texas Hippie Coalition, which is that counts. That counts.
Well, one of these days we'll have but no, back to what I was thinking earlier as you were saying the not obvious choices. I've actually noticed every episode of book club I've done, most of the time it's been just like, hey, pick anything. I'm giving you free will. Nerdy Neo has been messaging. I got shout out Nerdy Neo. He's going to be on next book club next week. Baby. We're doing movies. We're actually doing he because of him. I was like, yo, pick any movie you want, man. Like whatever. Like I always tell people either your favorite movie or something that's underrated that you want people to see. And I notice most people choose the underrated stuff that hasn't been seen. Right. Everyone is trying to avoid the obvious mainstream choices. And like Neo, he was like, well, I can't pick The Matrix. That's too obvious. It's too mainstream. And he like listed all these other movies. He's like, have you seen any of these? I'm like, oh, not really. I haven't seen, no. And he landed on a movie called Upgrade from, I think, 2018. So the theme next
that
theme
movie's fun as shit. Holy hell!
Next week's movie book club will be sci-fi thriller themed. So
I'm tuning in for
with
that,
Neo, me, Dabs, and Insidious Bliss. We're gonna be choosing some sci-fi thrillers. But
someone better pick Event Horizon.
All right.
Oh,
because is
that too close to the Matrix? Because Lawrence Fishburne is in it. We're leaving. So, yeah.
No, but Static was mentioning that his choice, Zayo, there is a correlation with that and Event Horizon. So we'll get to that when we get to that. But right now, what do I have up here? I think I'm gonna pull up.
It's Magma.
I think I'm gonna have Magma. Where's the thing?
And let's be real. I mean, Event Horizon's the best sci-fi horror movie out there.
Wow! Hot take. Especially with the new Alien movie coming out.
Oh yeah, right. Dempsey agreeing. Dempsey saying Event Horizon. Dempsey says Event Horizon is among my favorite movies ever. Holy shit! Maybe somebody's
It's a great movie.
I might have to choose Event Horizon then. I haven't chose yet, so.
If you ever get a chance to, because in order to get rated R by the MPAA, they had to do like the really quick cuts and really speed up the footage for like the kind of sadomasochistic hell stuff that was happening. They had contortionists. They were doing crazy sex stuff. They were in crazy makeup, and you only get little flashes of it, some frames of it. If you ever get an opportunity to, you can find it. You can find those scenes in full.
There was a director's
speed, and they are wild. It's crazy to look at.
There's a what'd you say, Kenzo?
There was a director's cut, but they can't release it because it got banned.
Holy shit!
Yeah, it was NC-17 or X or whatever. Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, and there was a fire and it got destroyed. But they literally hired in, like BDSM people, actual sex workers, midgets, and loads of shit, and filmed some wild stuff that never saw the light. Yeah. Never saw the light of day.
Holy shit! Wow.
Have you seen the movie, Paul?
What, Event Horizon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've never seen it.
Oh, dude.
Oh shit!
You'll
Smoke
notice
a
in the
whole
flashes.
lot of weed. Smoke a whole
just
lot of
absolute
weed.
bliss.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smoke a whole lot of weed. Watch it on your own with the lights out, and it's scary, man.
Oh shit! All right, well, I might have to choose that as a. I don't even know the movie, but I might have to choose it because y'all are hyping it up.
It's wild. It's wild.
But moving on to our next choice of albums. Shit, we're only on number 3. We got one more to go. We'll speed run these because
let's go.
usually I do these 2 hours, and we're already at the 2-hour mark. But fuck it. Next album is Gojira Magma from 2016. This is the most recent of the picks. I chose this one because this is the fucking most banger riffs I've heard in so long. I used to think
Some brutal riffs.
there were some groovy ass fucking riffs, and also technical because these guys aren't just they don't sit in the 4/4.
No slouches. Yeah,
they are not slouches. The fucking Dupla whatever brothers they're called, the drummer and the guitarist / singer.
Brothers, yeah.
They're fucking killer musicians. I like the drummer's like one of my favorite drummers. He's so tight.
One of the best exports from France since
Big baguettes.
I don't know, cheese, I guess.
Since Dermy.
Since Dermy.
But no, man. This wasn't my introduction to Gojira. Actually, this album was my first album introduction because the first time I actually really listened to Gojira was in 2020 when Fortitude was coming out, and only like 2 or 3 of their singles for that album were out. And when I heard those, I was like, yo, these are pretty good. And again, I was associating with like Slipknot riffs. I'm like, dude, these riffs were kind of Slipknot, but more technical and just to me were way more groovy. And I'm like, man, Slipknot,
like Slipknot meets Deftones.
Yes,
a bit, yeah.
That's
by this,
a really good comparison. Actually,
by this point, by this album, they really did. And it's funny because when they toured with Deftones, I'm like, oh, I could kind of see it, especially with this and their latest album. Yeah. They have a couple of like, more slower songs that, just like kind
Stranded, which is a pretty slow song, but just sounds great. And in regards to that, like Deftones, Slipknot kind of matchup, like Silvera.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wah, as in the intro, like that's very, very Slipknot.
Yeah. And for me, like the kings of riffs, like even like to me, like Iowa, Slipknot, fucking first album Slipknot, to me were like the best riffs I've heard ever, and like nothing really matched. Maybe some other bands that came out around the same time.
Volume 3, their third album, Volume 3, the
Subliminal Verses.
Verses. Thank you. In my opinion, I wasn't the biggest fan of Iowa. I do like their self-titled album, but I do think, in my opinion, their third album, which again has all of their most popular songs, has Pulse and Dance on there. For instance. I think that's when they really, really hit their stride and just fucking went for it. That's the one that really launched them.
I actually have I do agree it did launch them, but to me, I think that was when they went from being that groovy metal band to leaning, by Volume 3, they were leaning more into the metalcore stuff. So like they were doing like a lot of they were doing a lot of breakdowns and such like that. So I think by like Volume 3, they were leaning more into like the metalcore aspect of things and kind of push, because by 2003, everyone was trying to disassociate with nu metal. Every band was we're not.
99 happened, and people were really starting to shit.
The greatest concert ever happened, and then the genre died.
Right, Paul, slow roll it, homie.
The wildest concert happened, and they blame Fred Durst. When actually, you know what?
It started before he went on stage.
Exactly, it was the Red Hot Chili Peppers the night before.
Indeed.
Because they played "Light My Fire" by whatchamacallit, and then literally they were starting fires. And then the next day, Limp Bizkit played, and
it just so happened Limp Bizkit came out, and they decided to play break stuff first. Which the crowd was already, they were ready for it. They were primed for it. Limp Bizkit, Fred Durst went up there, and was like, all right, we're gonna change up the set list. We're gonna play break stuff first instead of rolling, which I think is what they were gonna open with. And again, like you said, the crowd was primed for it. They were fucking.
Oh,
ready.
yeah.
They were gonna burn that bitch down.
And even
There's no chance. No chance it was gonna be fine.
In the speech, right before the breakdown, he's like, I want you to let out all that anger in the sense that we were talking about, in the pit. All that shit that's
in the pit.
Let it out. But they misheard him, and they're ready to...
Boy, did they.
Tear things
it was
down.
Hot. Everybody was drunk because it was at the end of the day.
Females
the sun was going down.
Were in grave danger because you just have fucking men stranded fucking...
And there were females with just shirts and bras off just going hog wild everywhere. And, you know, obviously they have the sound guys up on the... on
those
the
towers.
Whatever. On the towers, and they're fucking climbing that, and they're pulling the piece apart. I'm like, dude, there's people up there, like 80 feet up. They're gonna kill them if you pull them down.
Yeah, so when that happened,
oh my god,
when that happened, everybody was like, "We don't want to be nu metal anymore." Deftones immediately went to Saturday Night Wrists. White Pony was the first, but Saturday Night Wrists was like their first departure from it sounding like
right.
Yeah, and I hated it. I was like, this isn't what I love.
It was a total change in sound.
Yeah, and everybody just started dipping and all that. So it when that happened, the whole 2000s to like the 2010, I played Mirror's Edge in like 2007, and I'm like, I'm leaving metal for good. I'm just gonna listen to my ambient stoner spacey music. And it wasn't
in my shoes.
And it wasn't until freaking Static X in 2020 and Gojira in 2020 I listened to.
Which is surprising after Wayne Static passed away, because they had a bunch of tracks that they
what they did with the Regeneration Volume 1, what they did with that to me was
masterful.
I was like, this is the Static X I know. This is CD 1 and 2. This is Wisconsin Death Trip and Machines back again, because they too, Static X made a huge departure. They leaned more into, they stopped being industrial and started being more nu metal. By Shadow Zone, like now you have
the Only is like not a nu metal song at all. There's a little bit of, you know, Wayne Static's vocals, but as far as the song goes,
it's super like mainstream. Yeah, it's like it's not.
It can play on the radio.
Yeah,
the fact that Static X can play on the radio is wild.
But to be fair, they were playing Push It on the radio on certain radios and stuff like that. But like
certain radios,
you know, they were popular, but they had that freaking just, you know, that kind of like Rammstein, just like.
Shout out to the Satanic Hispanic for being one of the best rhythm bassists.
Oh, dude,
you know, Fear Factory,
Tony, right?
Things like that. Yeah,
he is.
Tony, man, the Satanic Hispanic, he's fucking killing it.
He is. He played with Soulfly for a bit. And yeah, he's currently plays with Fear Factory. I actually saw when I saw Soulfly play. Oh no, it was they lost their guitarist. Soulfly lost the guy from El Nino, Mark Rizzo. He went back to El Nino. Yeah, they're great. And he actually, for that tour where I got this shirt from, fucking Dino from Fear Factory filled in.
Yeah, Dino Cazares.
Yeah, he was playing with Soulfly. They did a couple Fear Factory songs too while he was playing. It was such a killer show, dude.
Hell yeah.
But hell yeah. So back to kind of this album this is what brought me back into heavy music. When I heard some of the singles from Fortitude, I was like, all right, let me check out their latest album. And then this kicks on, and every single song, just every freaking riff. We were talking about the Money riff. This album starts off with fucking slow, drudgy,
stacks on stacks on stacks.
Dude, like,
and they all carry well into each other as well. Like, there's no fade out of a song and then the next song comes in. You kind of have to like
right. Yeah, you got to readjust and get ready. Get ready for the next one. Like, what the hell are all these? It's so good. Like every riff on this album just made me.
Yeah, the polyrhythms, man. The fucking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I would argue that we were talking about Gent music and the meme that it became. This album is a great example of what Gent actually was, and then people took it too far and thought it was just hitting zeros all day. That's not what it's about.
adding
this.
extra fucking strings. You need to have
Yep.
an 8-string guitar and frickin' then like no. These
No, you
guys
don't.
playing.
Just
These
play
guys.
bass, dude.
No, no,
Yeah, just play bass.
you need a 13-string guitar.
Oh yeah,
Get the
8-string
fuck
is that's last year. Get that shit out of here.
Oh my god.
We're at 13
Again,
strings now.
another massive Jared Dines meme that went way too far with the 23-string bass.
Oh
The thing
no.
weighs like 40 pounds. It's insane. Oh my
What I
gosh.
did like about some of the songs on this album, they used some really good effects on
Yes.
the guitars that made them almost sound
Yeah.
like a synth.
Yes, they use the
Especially
top.
like, like the intro to Silvera. Like
They
that
use the-
oh man.
They use the Tom Morello pitch shifter, so a lot of
Yes.
times they'll
Yeah.
do and it almost sounds like a freaking synthesizer or something. And yeah, no, they are killing it. Their guitar tones sound
That's
nice.
It does sound like a synth. Yeah, it does sound like a synth line, but rather than an actual synth line like some of them symphonic metal bands use, you can
Right.
tell it's an actual guitar doing it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And real quick, I know this is going to upset everybody, but I'm going to bring it back around. Shout out to Tom Morello, who wears Antifa shirts and whose uncle was the last prince of Nigeria. Yeah,
Legitimately?
yeah, legitimately. His
That's
father is
It's not
his
an email
uncle.
thing?
No,
Not an
no, no,
email
no,
thing?
no, 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 genuinely. His uncle or his dad was the last prince of Nigeria. His uncle was the last king of Nigeria before they switched to a
Okay.
democratic system. Like, when they came out in the late '90s, and they had like their book list of a lot of communist literature and things like that. They and like even Zach De La Rocha's father is like a really famous Puerto Rican street artist. Like not just straight up graffiti, like gets paid to like do the sides of massive international corporations buildings and things like that. All of them were extremely well off. All of them. They all had a lot of time to do music and like read communist literature, for instance. So
Well, Dempsey says simp along the machine. Yeah, one of the most disappointing.
Really, Rage for the Machine.
Right.
Exactly.
What a. Yeah,
Their
man.
music's good, but
Their music is good. Their music is good, but I know there was a compilation that came out in like 2004. I know we're going off topic, and I apologize.
You're good,
I just
you're good.
want to really quickly nail this. There was a compilation that came out in 2004, 2005. That was music that inspired me, an Iraq War veteran soundtrack. And one of the songs on there was by Rage Against the Machine. It was Guerrilla Radio. And if that, I know guys that died in Iraq and Afghanistan. I know guys who came back really fucked up from Iraq and Afghanistan. That's my generation. That's you guys' generation. It's all of us generation. And in my opinion, if that disabled soldier who came back as a paraplegic because he lost both of his legs to an IED knew exactly how the guys in Rage Against the Machine felt about the United States military, for instance, no way. Not a chance. Anyways, moving
Yeah.
on.
Know Your Enemy is one of. I love that song.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's
And that's the thing. That's the problem. Is like
Not
you know,
even just the lyrics and stuff, just the
the
music.
song. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, we all are capable of separating art from the artist. You know, we can. I can enjoy Rage Against the Machine music. It's just I hate commies so much that I have a really hard time like buckling down and actually like really enjoying it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's the absolute passion and fire I used to have for that band, and like I would fucking like, dude, this is the band. This is it.
You guys did know they were always commies, right?
No.
Oh,
My brain was.
younger,
I may
probably
have been brainwashed. I'll tell you that.
So yeah, I was never into Rage Against the Machine. One, I was always way more into hardcore stuff growing up.
I was like 13 or 14 when I was listening to it origined, so I didn't even know what
Which-
a fucking commie
That's exactly
was.
right.
With the past,
like
right.
junior high age. But like I forget how I heard about this, but it's like, yeah, they're big in. I heard that they were big into communism and like all the Harvard stuff and whatnot somehow played into that. And I was like, and then the Evil Empire. So I was like, oh,
Yeah,
I
it
get
starts to connect.
it.
Right.
Yeah, I was just never a big fan of them. I always thought the Allen wrench with the two wahs was like a gimmick.
Oh my god, yeah.
Hilarious.
I'm glad I grew out of that. I'm glad I became politically aware quite young.
In regards to this Gojira album,
Yes.
Indeed, good segue.
am I the only one that feels like this is just one giant fucking song?
A little bit.
No.
This is kind of a concept album.
Yeah, what you said, Stag, that's kind of like one giant song that fits in well to what I was saying about how I felt when I was listening to the music, that there was no song that ended and then a song that came up that kind of made you do a double take and kind of had to code switch in your head to enjoy it. It's like they all flowed very well into each other, just kept going, just cover to cover. And when it was over, it's like,
that's it. Hello.
What? That's it. Oh, it's over. Oh, it's done.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Listen to it. I listened to the whole thing. Wow, that was fast. Just flew by you. You enjoyed the whole thing, and it was over in an instant.
All these albums went by fast. Every one I'd go and look. I was like, how many songs are left? And it'd be the last one.
Yeah,
really.
Same.
Really.
Yeah, that kept happening to me too. But yeah, no, this
music.
I think it's only about a 40-minute album or something.
Yeah, which isn't terribly long.
Yeah.
But it just flies by you.
Yeah,
it's that good. It's that good. And again, they all lead into one another. Kind of like Stack said, it all feels like one song basically.
Yeah, and I think there is a bit of a concept between. There's a lot of. These guys too are kind of on the page of Rage Against the Machine. Not as bad, but these guys, they're very. They're not commies, but like they're kind of activists. They're all for preserving the land, and they're basically like Indian, like native hippies.
They're freaking French, for crying out loud.
French.
You guys are the natives to the French lands, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
My gosh.
So yeah, they do a lot of tracks like that. I think on their last album before this, they had a song called
Well, I'm British, so we're supposed to not like the French by default.
Oh, right.
Which is perfectly acceptable to me. Thank you. And if we want to talk about like being really sad and emo, I know that doesn't really come through on the songs per se, but as I do, I when I see the albums, I listen to the albums all the way through, and then I do some research, and I listen to the albums again with lyrics. And I was looking at interviews, written interviews, video interviews, and one of my favorite quotes, I have it right here. It's a really, really short quote, and they were. Joe Plantier, his brother Mario, passed away in the process of writing, not recording, but in the process of writing this album. And again, Joe went into this and the lyrics. And my favorite quote, again, talking about emo stuff, is, when you read Joe's lyrics, for me, I cry right away. They're very deep and to the point. No bullshit. We recycle our sadness and depression into the music. We want a short album, something less epic than what we usually do, because people's attentions are shorter now. So a lot of songs are 4 minutes. It's like, okay, dude, just play the fucking music, please. Please.
For sure, yeah. No, yeah. But they channeled that sadness into some great fucking riffage. I don't care what.
Oh yeah.
I don't care what they got to do. If they gotta, they gotta sing.
I wouldn't say it's a depressing album.
No, it's
a stoner album. It's stoner metal.
It is pretty stoner.
It's not depressing. It's fucking chill ass metal, is what it is.
It really is chill. Again, like nothing over like 120 BPM. Nothing really fast.
It's sludgy, man.
It's very sludgy, kind of doomy.
Yeah, a little doom stoner metal.
It sounds really nice. It sounds really nice. I really enjoy it.
I personally, I wanted to pick this one because this is the one that got my stoner ass into fucking. And then I started listening to L'Enfant Sauvage or whatever the hell the one before that. And then
Savage, yeah.
And then what's the one before that with the whale on it?
Oh, Flying Whales.
Is that the title? I thought that was the name of the song.
I'm pretty sure it's literally called, the album as well is called Flying Whales. Or excuse me, From Mars to Sirius.
From Mars to that is the yes. There you go. That one, yeah. And then you just keep going back. From Mars to Sirius. The way of all flesh. I actually hated that one when I
first album, I think.
No, that was the one after Mars to Sirius.
Oh, excuse me.
Between Mars to Sirius and the Sauvage one, 2008. Way of All I at first when I heard it, I'm like, this is too, because he did a lot of the more death metal screaming in that one. But then I went back and I'm like, oh my god, the riffs are just as good here too. But if you just keep going back until their first album, Terra Incognita and The Link, their first two, dude, those albums also, like, they're more metal, they're more along the death metal side as well, and progressive metal.
They have a similar musical progression. I brought it up earlier. They have a similar music progression to Opeth. Where Opeth started like really death metal-y really quick, and they kind of progressed into slower, more melodic stuff, but still really hard, still down-tuned, using a lot of effects. And Mikhail Arkenfeld's singing is still really rough and really intense, even though it's not really fast or anything.
Right.
I kind of feel like Gojira and Opeth had a similar progression in that way, and they've kind of been going blow for blow with each of the albums they've been coming out with.
Right on. Yeah. If you don't know about Gojira and you want the heavier stuff, listen to the early stuff. And if you want more of the stoner, slower stuff, I would even say they went back more heavy on Fortitude, because this, I think, was their slowest album. If you listen to Fortitude, there are still a couple slow songs on that one. There's even like a straight up slow ass song on Fortitude that I was like, whoa, he's like singing and it sounds like really Deftonesy in there. But the rest of the album, back to fucking more of the pitch shifting effects, and they're oh man, you would know you're listening to a Gojira song when you hear that fucking traditional fucking whatever that fucking pitch thing that they do. The very first song, their first album, Terra Incognita, is like
the pick scrape.
That pick scrape, exactly. That pick scraping. You know you're listening to Gojira when you hear that pick scraping, and they fucking use it all the time. And I actually love it. I love it so much. I don't think they used much of it here in this album.
No, not really.
No.
A lot of bends though, and a lot of pinch harmonics. That's for sure.
Yeah,
a lot of pinch harmonics.
But man, these guys are tight. Like when it comes to like, if they're going fast, if they're going slow, they are tight and on point. And kind of what I mentioned in the beginning of the show, because Creep NATO's choice was Deftones, and I saw Deftones and these guys literally, the same show. Gojira played first, then Deftones went on, and I said to myself, Deftones should have went on before Gojira, because just production, like quality wise, Gojira blew Deftones out of the water.
Oh yeah, and
so hard.
Chino Moreno, God bless him, just cannot reproduce what he does in studio live.
No,
he can't do it.
He cannot.
Well, he's had surgeries and shit. His throat is fucked.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He should have learned to properly scream instead of just going out there going.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
He destroyed his own voice.
As somebody who's done gutturals and things like that, even if you know how to do it, and you take like it the way it was described to me, and it kind of fits, is once you learn it, it takes a while. It takes like a year to really learn it and a couple years to really get good at it, but then it takes like 30 days to lose it. And genuinely have to spend like 30 days to warm back up to it properly. To continue to do it. And if you don't keep it up every day, you lose it again. It's gone. And you have to warm back up to it, or you will destroy your vocal cords.
Yeah. And Chino, not only has he destroyed his vocal cords, but he refuses to sing the song in the same
key.
Not the key, but like the same melody. Like he will purposefully
in timing,
right? He'll the whole crowd is trying to sing your chorus. Sing your fucking chorus, bro. Don't go, a little bit off and then early to,
That's just him thinking he's being fucking artsy fartsy bullshit. I'm a performer, and
exactly. And that's why I give such, even though I know people can't really stand his voice because of the type of music that's being played, or they just can't stand his voice generally. James Hetfield, when he sings, because everybody knows Metallica songs. Everybody knows Metallica songs. But when they do concerts, James Hetfield sings the songs as they're recorded because everybody is singing with them, And he does, he does little lyrical changes, or he'll do little intros on the offbeat leading in, or what have you. But he sings it like it was recorded because everybody is singing with him.
Yeah. And I gotta give props to Gojira. When they were playing live, I was hearing the album live right there. They do throw like a ton of effects on the singer's voice and all, but that's like that. They're using the exact same effects that they use on the album, so it sounded right there. It sounded very echoey, angelic. Multiple layered. It fucking fantastic. So man, if actually they're touring with Korn and Spirit Box, I think right now.
Oh hell yeah, I love Spirit Box.
I'm gonna definitely go see. I mean, I'm there for Gojira, but might as well see some Korn, and I gotta look into Spirit Box. They've been popping off.
As far as music goes, the best thing to come out of Canada since Archspire a few years ago. Archspire is really technical death metal, really fast, really intense, and Spirit Box. Oh man, Spirit Box is so good. It's so good.
Trying to figure out, is there another female-fronted band with the S, or is this the band that people are saying? Backwards. No.
Well, there is another Vancouver area Canadian band that has a female front, which is Unleash the Archers, which is more power metal.
Right.
But Brittany Slays, who's their lead singer, they actually played. They played here in Delaware. Quite interesting. They played at a place called Bar 13, which is at the end of Route 13 in the state, and it's a small, really small venue. The stage is maybe this high, and it fits like maybe 50 to 60 people. There were like 100 people there. And Brittany Slays is like, I'm sitting down, and she's like this tall. And so when she was on the stage, which again maybe 8 inches high, I was right up front, packed in there, leaning on my cane in 2021 when they were playing. And she was this far away from my face, and the microphone was right here. And even though it was so loud in that place, I could hear her from her mouth. I could hear her voice projecting into my ears over the PAs. That's how close I was to her. She killed it the whole time. Oh yeah.
Right on.
Good stuff.
I was gonna say, I think it is Spirit Box, because somebody mentioned to me, they're like, oh, Spirit Box is like Mudvayne if they had a female vocalist. And I'm like, is that them? I might be thinking of someone else.
That's opinions, guys, because I don't think of Mudvayne when I think of Spirit Box.
Somebody told me that. I don't know. I don't know who told me that. But maybe I'm thinking of someone else. But I think that is the band. I'll have to listen to them and see if they're right.
That's an interesting opinion. My goodness.
Yeah.
I've never thought that at all.
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't remember. I don't remember who said it. Maybe their opinion was again more like mine, where I'm fucking all wrong.
Oh no! Believe me, like I said, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong about how one interprets music. Period.
Well, if I'm saying
that's
wrong,
why these are so much fun.
That's why if I'm saying the wrong subgenre, y'all are correcting me, so I am wrong a lot.
We're just being assholes about it.
No, I do want to be corrected. I don't want to sound like an idiot all the time. I sound like an idiot too often.
Sure.
But back to this album. All the way through was like one of my favorite, and now Gojira to me is the king of riffs. Even to this day, I don't care what you guys say. To me, my favorite riffage is coming from Gojira. I can't really think of another groovy metal band that's like really kicking off. Just I don't. Yeah. I to me, Slipknot was the grooviest metal. Gojira has the last few Slipknot albums just have not been memorable to me. So I have to say that Gojira has topped them as the grooviest riffage band currently. Yeah, that's
Homie's sleeping on backwards.
Who's sleeping backwards?
Sleep number.
No, we're sleeping on backwards.
Oh, we're sleeping on backwards.
Eric DeJuly has the best shoulder hair of any front man.
Look, I'm not going to pull it down because it's hot, but
I don't know why you got to be a hater, Kenzo. I don't know why you got to be a hater.
I said something positive, man. I said something positive.
Kenzo should have chose Backwards as his album.
You should have chose Violence, quite honestly.
Oh shit!
I complimented him on his shoulder hair. Come on, man.
Right on.
That's not.
That's good stuff. As someone who
hate him.
has long hair, Paul, I know you.
He's a very.
that.
He's a multi-talented gentleman. That's all I'm saying.
Indeed.
There you go.
Indeed.
Dempsey in chat saying Lamb of God has some great riffage. Yeah, they were.
Oh, for sure.
They too are.
Yeah.
They pissed.
Morton is one of my guitar heroes. Absolutely. Talk if you want to talk about like carrying on. You know, I know people go to Zakk Wylde, well, mainly Zakk Wylde, when talking about like, you know, after Dime passed away, who kind of carried the torch.
Right.
Mark Morton really carries that torch. His riffs are so groovy and so bluesy, and they sound fantastic. It was a decision between Rise Against and Lamb of God. I wore my Lamb of God shirt when I was on Carl's stream this past Friday, so I'm like, I'm not going to wear the same thing twice.
Right.
I'll just go put this one on.
Yeah, no.
Lamb of God is easily in my top 3 favorite bands, no doubt about it.
Lamb of God pissed me off when new metal was dying, and I'm like, God damn it, these riffs do sound good, but I hate the vocalist. The vocal just sounds so monotone to me.
So good. The vocals is so good.
But he's gotten better.
Dude, Randy Blythe.
Yeah,
Yes, the difference between Ashes of the Wake and Sacrament, like there's such a clear divide. Like in Ashes of the Wake, he was the same tone all the way through, but in Sacrament, he actually started to get into it, and then of course, as things progress, he's gotten way better.
Yeah.
Way better.
Ever since the famous who's that famous lady that the old lady that's teaching what is her name?
Oh, that's teaching death metal vocals.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, what is her name?
I have her
can't think of her name,
videos.
but I know who you're speaking about.
Actually, she's the reason why I know half of the vocal. Like, I've learned how to scream a little bit better because of her. Oh God, what is her name?
Yeah, I can't think about it. I do know, not an old lady, but like
she is an old lady now. She's old as fuck now.
I'm thinking of somebody else who also is an opera singer who doesn't do death metal vocals, but knows somebody who does, and they kind of collaborate. Is the lady who does the charismatic voice on YouTube? Her and Will Ramos collaborate a lot, and if you ever want to see like a woman who can genuinely sing like good soprano opera, and someone like Will Ramos who can do absolutely insane gutturals, and have those two speaking when they collaborate, their knowledge of singing, especially someone like me who's a classically trained bass vocalist, their knowledge of singing and of voice technique is incredible. It's incredible.
I found her, Melissa Cross.
Okay. Yeah.
If you look at she has the Zen of Screaming and the Zen of Screaming 2, very, very good fucking DVDs. If you could somehow find them, buy them, or download them or something, if you're interested in screaming, singing, even just singing, because she teaches you how to, like...
You have to be able to sing first to do proper gutturals. You have to.
Exactly.
Because you have to be able to breathe properly. It has to come down here. You can't do it in here.
There's a portion in the DVD that just unlocked something in my head just like so much. It was crazy. So she had a dude from a band just sing his song. She's like, okay, go ahead, do your part, and he does his thing, and he's doing he's screaming it, and she's like, all right, cool, you're right here on the keyboard. So she's like, bing, 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 bing. You're playing only this one note though the whole time, and. She's like, all right, now do your singing part, and then she does the singing. He does the like I mentioned.
He goes all over.
The clean. She was trying to teach him how to make more raspier singing, and she's like, and he was doing the whole demon screaming, angel singing type thing, and she's like, I want to show you how to blend those two. So she's like, all right, here's your singing. And then she plays the singing part on piano, and she's like, oh, he's like, okay. He's like, all right, now try to scream that part with this screaming voice that you do. And he starts struggling. He's like, he's like, like going off and shit. She's like, here, let me show you something. Your scream is actually a higher pitch than the highest note in your singing part. So you should be able to hit these notes no problem, because they're lower than your actual scream is. And he's like, really? He's like, yeah. And the two notes that you're the two notes that you're the low note you're trying to go from and that high note you're trying to hit is actually like a step and a half away. Like she showed, like on the keyboard, it's like you're not trying to go that high. In your head,
you should be able to fill that in as well.
And it's all mental, because he's like, I'm only going a little bit higher, but in your head you're thinking you're going whoa, like up here with it, when really you're just going like just a step higher. And once you kind of like put that together and then realize, if you hold a note and then aggressively start like getting louder and louder with that note, you're eventually just screaming. So if you just go, and there's also that vocal coach too. I always see him on fucking TikTok and YouTube shorts where he's like, so how to sound like this guy? Go fa, and then go g, gah. Like that guy's awesome too. But you know what I'm talking about, Kenzo?
Yeah. Kenzo's really tickled by this. My goodness.
But that guy's pretty good too. But Melissa Cross, she like really just makes it fucking click in your head. And so if you ever,
those gears turn and finally lock into place, and you're like, I got this. I know what to do now.
Yeah. So any vocalists that are trying to improve your vocals or just trying to do some new shit, check out Melissa Cross. She does some real good, and she knows every type of scream, how to achieve each scream, the name of each scream. It's very informative, very good stuff. There is an art form to screaming, and I've seen, like Lamb of God, Randy go from one monotone to fucking actually like almost singing, you know.
Yeah, I saw him doing a vocal warm-up that was quite interesting.
Vocal warm-ups are so important. Oh my goodness.
And actually,
really take it for granted.
Melissa Cross has a bunch of vocal warm-ups.
Just warm-up tapes.
Yeah,
just
tapes.
Like
it's just
like an hour before you go on, run through it twice.
Yeah, go sit in your car.
For like the uninitiated, if you're listening to metal, you would think that these guys are just literally blowing their voice out each time they open their mouth. But like there is a technique to it that you can learn, and if done properly with the right amount of breathing, you won't blow your voice out.
You will burn your voice out in like 15-20 minutes, and it's
seconds.
I was at a Killswitch concert, and it was like an hour and 20 minutes, and Jesse's voice got shot on like the 5th song, and I heard it happen. And I was like, oh no! And then he tried to keep it up throughout the rest of the rest of the show, and it was very obvious to anybody that he blew his voice out really early. He really messed it up.
It's funny.
And then he had to take like 3 weeks off. He had to take like 3 weeks off because he had to recover his voice. He couldn't speak.
You
throw it so bad you can't speak for a couple days, and then you're told like, don't even make guttural noises with your mouth closed. Don't make any noise for like a couple weeks.
Warm tea and honey is all you get, and you can't speak anymore.
Correct.
But
bring a pad. Literally, bring a pad and a pen around so that you can
talk to people.
Do not speak at all.
I was gonna say one thing. To most people, if you're seeing a metal band and the metal singer is smart, right before he's on stage going, he's probably in his car 30 minutes before going, yeah. But another example of a person just blowing their voice out, back to Chino. Dude, I saw the worst video. It was so sad, and it's kind of good we're not talking about White Pony, because he tried to do the song he does with Maynard, Passenger.
Oh no, Maynard's
and he's trying to do Maynard's
so out of his league.
He's trying to do Maynard's part on stage, and this is what it sounded like. Like, holy fuck, bro, you can't hold a single note. God.
I don't know. That sounded pretty spot on to me.
All right, I'm doing a good version of it.
I mean,
better than he does. I swear it sounded so bad. God, it was so.
Maynard is way out of his league.
Maynard is amazing. Maynard has gotten way better. I just saw him do Pussifer and Primus and all that, or Perfect Circle and Pussifer a month ago now. Spot on. His voice projects like better than he used to, because before you listen to
60 and he's killing it,
dude. If you listen to old Tool albums, he was very shy on the mic, and even like on the record, very quiet. He's the lowest sounding thing on like the first 2 albums. Maybe Lateralis is the first time they actually finally brought him up a little bit. But now if you listen to Pussifer, he is the loudest fucking instrument, and he's owned it. He's owned it. He's no longer in his head with the singing. He's like, I own this shit and I can fucking hit this note. I got this bad bitch next to me careening around who's fucking harmonizing with me. Literally, like, when they would harmonize and there was like almost no other instruments playing, when it was just vocals, like, it was like a sonic boom in the fucking arena. Just like holy shit, dude, you could feel those vocals going through. And
Karina Round, man, shout out to Karina Round,
dude. Man, she's a beast. But yeah, no, those as far as vocals goes, you know, Maynard has not lost one bit of his vocals. He's still he's just getting better. And smart vocalists need to be smart and not blow out their voices. But back to this album, this dude did not blow out his voice. He sounded amazing as fuck live. Gojira blew Deftones out of the water when I saw him. Oh, yeah. I'm sure they're gonna blow Korn out of the water when I see him this September. Yeah. Fucking amazing live band, and Gojira's like one of my favorite, you know, heavy bands currently today. You know, I'm excited for whatever they come out with next. You know, any other final thoughts on Magma here or Gojira? Favorites, dude. Every single one. If you had to pick. Okay, I think I was just listening to it, and I think I like how it opens with the Shooting Star. It's just so fucking like just slow and drudgy. I really like the Cell because it just starts off so fucking crazy, you know, and then it fucking bam, 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 bam. I'm like, oh, that's so fucking nasty to me. I swear, you could just bend a note 3 times and I'll think that's the most fucking metal riff. You could go and you show me, and that's way more metal to me than anything. It's just face melting.
So again, I'll try and choose the top 3 in no particular order. And this might sound basic given this album, but Silvera and Stranded are 2 that I very much enjoy. And then the final song on the album, Liberation, I very much enjoyed. And then when I read how the song came about, it was fully improvised in studio, and that went straight to tape, and that's what's on the album. After I read that, I was like, oh shit. And that shot into my top 3 for the album easily.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Just one take, Willie did, improvised it, and went to the album, and I it sounded clean when I listened to it. I had no idea about that. I was like, that's
damn. I gotta re-listen. I did not know about that. I'm gonna have to re-listen because the way that album ends, I thought was.
I told you I take notes.
Right on. Do better the job than I do. Goddamn, I need to do all this shit too.
Don't worry about it.
Dempsey saying Mike Patton has gotten better. Dude, Mike Patton may be the greatest vocalist. They actually have determined that he is the best vocalist because he has the widest range.
Yeah, he's got a range of like 4.5 nearly.
I think he has 5 full octaves. I think
5.
He might have full 5.
Holy shit!
All 5 octaves.
Like C2 to C6. Something like that.
Dude, he could go so deep. And then he could pig scream. I also saw fucking Mike Patton last summer, Riot Fest. I went to go see Queens of the Stone Age, and then I went to the bathroom after Queens of the Stone Age was done, and there was this metal band playing, like straight up metal, like fucking Slayer metal going on, and I'm like, cool, fucking not my type of fucking metal, but I dig it. And then I went to the bathrooms, and ICP was playing right behind the bathroom, so I was like laughing at that. I'm like, fuck yeah, I watched them. I witnessed ICP spray Faygo on the fans. I'm like, Faygo. Hell yeah. Then I go back, because Gabs wanted to see who was playing after Queens of the Stone Age. Postal Service, some Wii Music sounding band.
Okay.
And
modern.
I don't even know, like just indie little electronic rock kind of poppy rock. She wanted to see them, but as we're walking back, I look over and realize that the metal band that's playing is fucking Mr. Bungle, and I'm like, what? This is Mr. Bungle? I know what Mr. Bungle sounds like. It sounds like crazy jazz music. It doesn't sound like this.
Yeah.
They've rebranded Mr. Bungle. I look over.
And Matt Patton just.
You know who else is on stage? Fucking what's his face from Anthrax? bald beard guy.
One. Oh, Scott Ian.
Scott Ian's on stage right next to him. Fucking the drummer.
Grandpa Metal himself.
I looked it up, and apparently the drummer was from Slayer. He's created a metal super group and rebranded Mr. Bungle. And I was like,
I didn't know that.
Me neither.
Really?
Shock to my surprise, and fucking Mike Patton's on stage. He's braided 2 big braids, wearing fucking Trip parachute pants, fucking meddling it out, just screaming. And I'm like, wait, I recognize that voice, and I'm like, it's fucking Mike Patton, bro, dude. And he was supposed. It's funny because a couple months prior to that, he was supposed to be playing a big show in Las Vegas with Korn and System of a Down, or one of those. And Faith No More was supposed to play this big show, but Mike Patton dropped out because it was mid-COVID. He was having like fucking panic attacks and shit like that. He was just he's like mental. He took a mental health fucking step away from the show. So I think System,
which, quite frankly, good. If that's how you're feeling about stuff, I'm glad that you stepped back and eased up on things. Yeah, we don't want to lose you, homie.
No, absolutely. And big ups to Mike Patton for recognizing like, yo, this is so fucking crazy right now.
Knowing yourself well enough to step back.
And what does he do right after that? Fucking starts Mr. Bungle up again. He's like, I need
Grandpa Metal himself is like, dude, I need a rhythm guitarist. He's like, I'm in. Let's do it.
He's like, I got some mental health problems. I need to fucking release this stress, and created the most metal album with reunited. Let's see, members: Mike Patton, Trey Spruance.
Trey Spruance, yeah.
Trevor Dunn, Scott Ian, Dave Lombardo.
Dave Lombardo.
I think that's the drummer. Dave Lombardo, I think, is the Slayer drummer, or former Slayer drummer.
Yes.
What a fucking dude! That was a surprise. Like I said, I thought I was ready to hear Mr. Bungle, the old Mr. Bungle, this jazzy experimental shit, and nope, fucking straight metal. Dude's fucking swinging his fucking braid around, looking like it's new metal 2000s and shit like that. Straight up dressed like it, and I was like, oh, I love it. I love every minute of it.
I'll tell you what, if anybody thinks they're surprised by Mike Patton singing this way, go back and listen to Epic. Listen to his vocals on that, and you can tell that guy could easily end up at the point where he is now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I know people were really annoyed at his voice because it was kind of whiny and nasally, but his range and his vocal style was very unique, and you can easily see how he could pick up like pig squeals and breakdowns and death metal growls and be where he is today. Absolutely.
Dude, like one of the last, I think, well, actually, no, they came back and Faith No More did an album like in the 2010s, I think, but the last album they did before they like broke up, they had some of my favorite songs on that album that like really shined his vocal. I'm blanking on one of the songs, but it starts off real fucking like, and then it kind of like, and then it stops, and then it's just like goes real soft with the synths come in, and he's like deep. He's like, I don't know who I am. I'm like, holy shit, the dude fucking low as fuck. Yeah.
And Dempsey, if I may, brought up a really, really good point.
Yes.
A really good fact. That he did the voice acting for the guy in the darkness. I had no idea.
Me neither.
No idea that was him.
James,
I had no idea. I thought it was somebody totally different.
When James mentioned that on what was that, Cult of Carl's show, when they were talking about like underrated games or something like that.
Yeah, they were talking about the darkness. Yeah,
and he was talking about the darkness, and they said voiced by Mike Patton. I like was driving in the middle. I almost crashed my car. I was like, what? Get the fuck out of here! I need to play the darkness now. I fucking love that man. So not only because James loves the game, but I love fucking Mike Patton. Darkness stream coming soon, boys. Holy. Let's go. But all right, we are done with Magma. Any last thoughts other than the fucking dope
favorite songs?
Oh yeah, we were kind of going through that. Anybody else got some favorite songs?
I like Stranded, and I didn't know the names of any of the other ones apart from that one. And there was like a nice instrumental song after that as well.
Yeah, Yellowstone. Yeah, just there's usually, as of lately, as of like the last 3 or 4 albums, they let the bassist have kind of like a bass, like bass-driven song, because there's like no guitars in that, and like a lot, like almost like a bass solo yeah, if you listen to like the last 4 or 5 Gojira albums, there's like always one instrumental track that's very bass heavy that they let the bassist go nuts on, and I love those songs. They all
Lowlands had a lot. That was the second to last song on the album. Had a lot of really nice bass parts in it.
Oh yeah. But yeah, man, I'm trying to remember which one's Stranded again. How's that one go? Oh, dude, forget about it. No, yeah, that's the one that's like. Yeah, the one with the fucking guitar. The. Yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah, that is. When they play that.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah. When I saw they played that live, and when they did the one I said, the Cell. They did the Cell live. I think I have a video of it on my phone where they're doing the crazy intro.
Yeah.
Like holy fuck! Like the lights started, smoke coming. Oh, good. It was so good live. But yeah, man. Every riff on here just chugs so hard. I fucking love it so much. But yeah, good choices, Kenzo. Static. Favorite songs on here?
Nothing. I just listened to the whole album. Like it was just it was just like a jam session.
Gotcha.
Nothing really stood out to me.
Right on. But yeah.
Yeah, you did say it just sounded like one song that you were listening to.
And it kind of does.
It does kind of. I do agree.
Flows so well into each other. And especially for a concept album, which this is, it's based off their mother's illness and her passing and then them grieving. Yeah, it's great album.
Hell yeah. If y'all like some fucking grooving progressive riffs, this is your album. And then go listen.
Real Jet, not the jokey meme.
This is the real Jet. This is not drop C. I think they play in C standard. So
it's C standard, yeah.
All I know is the first note played on this is the same as the first note as the white White Pony album.
Okay, it's
with Back to School, the Mini Maggots version.
Yeah.
It's like the E flat or something.
It's either an E flat or D standard, whatever you want to call it.
I think we play it in D standard, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hilarious.
Or E flat and D standard is the same thing.
Yeah,
E sharp is A standard, yeah.
Heck yeah.
I know music. I know a little bit of music theory.
I don't. I make up words. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, I don't properly know much. Like even the letters of the notes. I'm like,
no, real
guitars.
People describe metal with noises. They're like, oh yeah, it goes like
and tabs.
Jimi Hendrix.
Oh yeah, and then it's got
his own guitar. Jimi Hendrix couldn't tune his guitar, for crying out loud.
Right.
You know?
Even Max Cavalera, like during the first couple Sepultura, he only has 4 strings, barely could tune them.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the bottom strings, and actually most of Soulfly, when you watch Max play for the longest time, he only played the 4 low strings.
He played the top 4.
He didn't even put the 2 high strings on the guitar at all. He's like, fuck that, I don't even need it. That's great. Alrighty, well,
right on.
Magma, Gojira, one of the best thing to come from the French since Dermy.
Fries?
Dermy.
French fries?
French fries didn't come from there.
It's an American thing.
That's the joke.
I'm sorry for spoiling the joke, guys. I apologize.
Alrighty, and last and definitely not least,
definitely not least. I was blown away by this. Actually, I'd never heard of Zayo before, and I absolutely want to hear Static go off on this. Absolutely.
Hell yeah. I was real quick. I was like, because I make associations in my brain. But it came out like, what was it, 2000, 2001?
2000.
And I think this is the same year that Gojira's first album came out. And I just, in my brain, those 2 albums, the first Gojira and this one, very similar. I mean, Zayo has more of the thrashy, punky kind of mix in there, as opposed to a Gojira, which is more progressive and all that. But very, very similar. And again, my brain makes associations in dumb ways. So if that helps anybody else out,
Gojira is very much more like death metal. The old
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, a little deathy and a little bit more with the progressiveness. But
they absolutely sound like Death. They sound like Burzum. They sound like Autopsy. A lot of bands, a lot of like late '80s, early '90s death metal, and even some black metal influences in there, like Burzum, for instance.
I'm pretty sure I remember hearing like Evil Dead voice in it at some point.
Oh yes. I don't know if is it the intro song? Is it it's the intro. In the intro, Dr. Weir. God, what is the name of that movie? I can't think of it. But in the intro, the character Dr. Weir has his little monologue in there, and man, does it warm you up for this album, get you ready to go.
So yeah, the name of the album itself is Liberate Te Ex Inferis, which is Latin for save yourself from hell, which they got from Event Horizon. I chose this album because for a bunch of reasons. Besides of how interesting it is, it came out in 2000, and the lead singer Dan is possibly the first singer to ever to scream like this. Okay. He is the godfather of that demon scream.
Right.
And that's one reason why I picked this album. Also, so when they put this out, they put it out under the Christian label, Tooth and Nail and Solid State. And actually, they were kind of on the outs with their church when this album came out.
Really?
Because of the previous album was the first one where they introduced the new core of the band. There was a shakeup and everything. And so there became this new core of the band, and that included the singer, and the church that they were involved in did not like the new sound. Like, they were always hardcore, but they weren't this dark. And they even went darker in this album, which is another reason why I love this. It's just so dark. It's kind of grungy, but not really. And this is just one of my favorite all-time bands. A Christian band putting out an album that says "Save Yourself from Hell" is kind of a weird idea in itself.
And it's a metal ass name too.
Yeah,
it's a metal name for real.
I think Zeo means peace in Greek.
They don't sound like a Christian metal band.
They don't. When I listened to the album for the first time, again, like I said, I'll listen to it blind, and then I'll do some research, and I'll listen to it with lyrics. And as I was reading the lyrics and with the research that I did, I was genuinely surprised that they were Christian metal. I kind of got an idea based on the fact that it said "Liberate Te Ex Infernus," save yourself from hell, or save yourself from the hellfire, what have you. I had kind of an inkling in my head, but as I was listening to it, I'm like, in 2000, there's no way. There's no way a Christian, I know it was Solid State Records under their Christian label. I was like, there's no way they would have gotten away with this. Absolutely not. And you just told us, Static, a little bit of the backstory about how they're kind of on the outs on the church with it.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So they've got like a 3.5 hour long documentary that you can watch on YouTube called "The Wayward Lights of Heaven," which is the name of another album. But they say in it that with this album was because the Christian metal hardcore scene, which was actually a scene that was competing with
the straight edge scene,
contemporary, with the secular scene and everything, like the non-Christian side of stuff, they were all playing shows together and everything. They actually fit in together as far as talent wise, which is something that not common usually when you get like Christian versions of anything.
No, right. That's very uncommon. Right.
And so the Christian side of things, they were very preachy, and Zao was kind of like, they wanted to get away from the preachiness, especially with the new core that took over. They wanted to get away from the preachiness and actually talk about real stuff. Like in this album, what is it? The fourth song, "If These Scars Could Speak."
Scars Could Speak, yeah.
Is a song about a porn star who committed suicide.
Yes, just straight up what it's about. Yeah.
Wow.
But I just love, so another reason I love it, riffs. These guys are just king of the riffs, like, and they're so fucking heavy. I guess I see this band every time they come to town. I saw them probably about 6 months ago.
Oh, right on.
They're still touring?
Yeah. What's that?
They're still touring?
Yeah, dude, they're
put an
putting out
album,
music
like,
still.
like a year and a half ago. They put out an album.
They took a long break. Like this album, album after this didn't come out for a good while, like possibly 10 years or something.
Mm-hmm.
But they've put out a bunch of albums.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. Yeah, I'm a fan. It's funny that it's funny that this is a Christian rock band. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't think.
I was having a conversation yesterday with my fiance Anna. I love you. And I was having a conversation earlier today. Look, I'm always gonna say it. I'll never not say it. I love you.
And we're always gonna giggle. No,
no worries, te amo, mi amor. And I was having a conversation with her, and then I kind of carried that conversation on later today with a couple of friends of mine when I first woke up. And I was discussing how I was surprised that that two of the albums, and I'll get to my point, that two of the albums of the four today were Christian or Christian inspired. Real quick for Killswitch, because especially Jesse Leach and Adam D are Christians. Again, they did Times of Grace together when Howard was still with Killswitch. And even you can kind of begin to see it on Alive or Just Breathing with their lyrics, how there's some Christian or faith inspired things in there. And you can, if you actually are a real like non-hypocritical or non-super Bible thumper Christian, you can really see it in this album as well. And the main point I was bringing up, which is something static, you've alluded to a number of times, which is Christian music, especially Christian contemporary music or worship music, if you will, it's lame. It sucks. It doesn't sound good. The lyrics are bad, because even as Christians, myself being one, and I can only speak for myself, we're still people. We still curse and scream and yell and get angry, and maybe we look at pornography, maybe we have sexual escapades, maybe we deal with thoughts of suicide or self-harm or what have you. We're still people who sin. We still do actual imperfect human things. And to do a contemporary Christian music album where it's all happy days and sunshine and rainbows, you're effectively lying to people by saying that's what it's like to live in God's grace. It's exactly, it's toxic positivity, and that turns a lot of people off.
Yeah.
But you have something like this album, Liberate Infernus by Zeo, and it's about real stuff. It's about real stuff. The second song, as we were speaking about Savannah, is about a porn star, and then the fourth song is about her taking her own life. That's real life. That's real shit. And you're not ever, if especially if you're someone who wants to evangelize and you want to bring people into the faith and pray that God's light shines into them and warms their heart and they come to accept Christ as their Lord and Savior, you're not going to get them with this toxic positivity. You're going to push them away. You need to show them that Christians are real people too, who have real struggles, just like everybody else. Just like everybody else. You can't thump the Bible over their head. You cannot shove verses down their throat. You cannot act holier than thou and say that they're wrong and you're right. Do as I say, not as I do, stuff like that. You have to give them reality, because that's the only thing people can connect with. They can only connect with reality. They listen to it, and then you can say, oh, by the way, I am this. I'm a Christian. And it gets them interest, and then they want to ask questions about it, and then you can talk about it. And that's how you genuinely build bridges and build friendships and bring people in to the faith, if you will.
Yeah, start the conversation.
Yeah,
correct. Conversation. Instead of talking at somebody, talking with somebody.
And their church did not like this new approach, and they ended up, so they still they're like still believers of God of some sort, but it's not like what they were. And these are kids that like went to Christian university.
Right.
Like so they were like all in. But so this is one of their earlier albums. They have grown and matured. They put out, you guys said you like the garage sound and everything on early albums. They have another album called The Fear Is What Keeps Us Here that they perfectly went out to have that dirty garage sound. Okay. And that is their grindiest album that they've ever put out. It is disgusting in a good way.
Oh, yeah.
So I've got a bunch of buddies that we've been listening to these guys forever, and none of them like that album except for me.
Well, nobody's perfect, so
Yeah.
you have to show them up every once in a while, whatever. They'll learn.
But I just love this band, and this is my favorite album by them.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I could see
like
why.
I said, I've never heard this. Oh, sorry, Paul. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I could see why this was, you know, just musically, phonetically, and just production quality wise, you know. Yeah, it was another album that you don't want to skip any songs.
Oh yeah.
You know, all the riffs were bangers. Like there wasn't a dull moment in this album, and then you layer the on top of that, you know, what it's all about, and you know what they're all about, and that just makes it like, yo, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, so
Hell yeah, absolutely.
I'm all for
What
it.
about you, Kenzo? What do you think?
I think it kind of went hard from start to finish, man. Like
Yeah.
there's no like
No
clean
lead Dickens throughout
singing.
it.
You know,
Things
there's no
happen.
alternating. There's no alternating between clean and the hard vocals. It's
No.
just hard vocals. And for me as well, like I just listened to the whole album, like Static did with the Gojira one. And for me, there was times where I weren't sure whether it'd skip
Yeah, I
to
know.
the next song
Mhm.
or whether it was
For sure.
a break.
It's a
Getting like
fact,
winter.
same way.
I do enjoy it though. It was a good album.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a little surprised Paul actually enjoyed it, because I know like
Me
these
too.
kinds of vocals are not his thing at all, and there's no calm in the screaming.
No.
No, it's hard. It's hard the whole
Yeah.
way through. From
There's
Now,
no
beginning
every
to
clean
album after
vocals.
this one, they do introduce singing. The guitarist who this was actually his first album.
Okay.
I can't think of his name, but the guitarist that joined on this album does every album after this does sing. Does sing the parts.
Scott Mellinger, he replaced Brett Detar as the full-time guitarist.
Yeah. Scott. He replaced Brett Detter, who went on to be in an emo band called the Juliana Theory, who are absolutely amazing.
Oh.
Look out.
I know that band, but I just emo vocals. I just can't. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
They were kind of so like they were like emo rock, like the Get Up Kids type stuff.
Okay. I can get down with that. Okay.
But yeah, like I was saying, the only reason the reason I associate this with Gojira is like because that first Gojira album was more guttural and you know, they didn't sing. Maybe they sing once or twice in the first Gojira album, but yeah, because I went for, like I said, I started with Magma and went backwards, and as it was getting dirtier and nastier and just heavier, like when I got to that first album, I'm like, kind of like these vocals now. I don't know. It grew on me.
Warming up to it, baby.
I warmed up to it. Who knows? Maybe I'll actually sit down and listen to Cannibal Corpse for once.
You know what? You don't have to jump off the cliff into the pool. You know, you can just go off the diving board.
I'll ease my way in, but when I listened to this, like I said, it gave me total first album of Gojira vibes, and yeah, the just guttural screaming vocals. Although this particular style, what does it remind me of? I don't know. It's more of that like you're tightening your voice, but then also trying to be as high pitch as possible. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of like
Doing
a
a
high pitched
falsetto
scream,
rasp.
but it's not like I don't know.
It's-
I don't know
it's
if you guys
almost
heard
like-
Blood Brothers or some shit like that. It's not like that.
You would be using your head voice. That's a falsetto
Yeah.
rasp. Yeah.
it's like you're trying to sound like Smeagol, but like you're screaming like Smeagol. There you go. But no, I dug it. Like I said, I've stopped being such a closed-minded little prick.
Close-minded
Knob.
prude.
A vocal
I
snob.
wasn't going to call you a little prick. That's a little much.
No, I call myself a little prick.
Words, I'll accept them.
But no, yeah, I used to be super closed-minded, and like even like I said, I had a problem with Lamb of God because it sounded too monotone. So yeah, I was a bit of a snob. I wanted all my bands to sound like Maynard or the fucking the guy from. I thought the best voices during the whole new metal age was like Maynard and like fucking the dude from Incubus, but they weren't screamers. They had great voices, so I just wanted everyone to sound like fucking that. And then if you could scream, that's cool too. But like, that was my mentality back in the day. And I guess Slipknot and Corey and Mudvayne. That's when I got more into fucking screaming and Cold Chamber and stuff like that. But I got initially introduced through like Korn and more of the not so screamy type bands. More even Jonathan Davis. He never really does like a full guttural scream until like way down the line. He finally learned.
Take a look in the mirror.
He started doing
That's
when he did. Exactly. So. But for the most time, he just sounded clean and did his little raspy kind of singing, and to me, that was a scream.
Bro.
Oh god!
Yeah.
When they started like introducing some of like the dubstep type shit into their shit.
Oh god, that was the worst.
The Totality of Reason, when they had
Dude,
Alex on there. Yeah,
I pretty much.
There were a couple of good songs on there.
I
Totality
hate.
of Reason.
I just hate dubstep. I didn't like it at all,
dubstep
ever.
Came so hard and so fast
And
in the U.S. specifically because it came out of the drum and bass scene of London in the U.K. Obviously, you would know, Kenzo. And when it came to the U.S., it hit like a freight train, and it went so hard for so fast with so much radio play and so many concerts and so many shows and so many festivals that it died after like 3 or 4 years, and people were fucking sick of it.
Oh yeah,
I haven't listened to dubstep. I didn't start listening to dubstep or even drum and bass stuff again until like a couple years ago. Like I took like a decade off because I was so tired of listening to it. There's just so much of it all the time.
It came and went just like new metal. It did the fucking new metal show up for 5 years, hit hard and go home.
Yeah, really. Live fast, die young, and we out.
Dempsey in chat saying I've written more dubstep songs than I care to admit.
Hey, you're among friends, you can admit it.
And also, Dempsey came in earlier with being our resident Jamie from fucking.
Hey, Jamie, pull that up.
Jamie, pull it up. Verb, Zeo, definition: to live, breathe, be among the living, not lifeless or dead, to enjoy life, to have true life and worthy of the name, active, blessed, endless in the
kind
kingdom.
of a throwback to the title of the Killswitch album.
Yeah, alive or just breathing, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. And I definitely said shout out for being our.
Well, that's like a lot of people. A lot of people, when you would hear like Zeo or Killswitch, you would think that it's all aggressive, horrible, depressing lyrics, but they're not. Even like
it's really not.
To the Sons of Man, which is probably one of the hardest songs on that Killswitch album, the lyrics are quite like biblical.
Oh yeah. Like even on a modern Killswitch album, which again I'll go back to, Incarnate, which is 2016, their first one with Jeff Leach back on there. They have 2 songs which might seem counterintuitive, but they have Hate by Design, which is about how us imperfect humans we were designed with free will, and when we choose to hate things, hate is not the opposite of love. Hate, the opposite of love is ambivalence. So when we're hating something, we only hate a person, for instance, because we care about them. And they have another song off the album. I don't know if the songs are listed on the back.
You can't actually.
But they have another song called "Strength of the Mind," which comes right after, which is again about being centered in yourself and turning inward and knowing yourself and being prepared for life ahead of you. And because you can, someone like me, I wanted to be a nurse, broke my back, not going to get into it. Never got to live that dream out. I've always tried to help people my entire life, but I never helped myself. And I spent about 4.5 years, up until quite recently, up until like basically half a year ago, doing that. And finally was able to be comfortable in myself and be content. That's very important. Being content with where I was with my lot in life, not being angry or bitter about it. And once I was able to do that, I was starting to lose weight. I was starting to get healthier. I was getting off the medications that I didn't feel like I needed, things of that nature. And, that's when I met my now fiance on I Love You. That's when
I love it.
I began to genuinely be able to assist other people, and it's all in here. And again, speaking as a Christian, one of the reasons I love Killswitch Engage and I love Jesse's lyrics and I love Adam's lyrics and their singing is much like Zayo. It's not in your face toxic positivity. It's about real stuff. It's about real life, and it's uplifting. When you think about it in that aspect, it's very uplifting.
Hell yeah. That's yeah, man. Very what was I gonna?
I made Paul shut up. What the
Yeah,
hell?
yeah. I lost my train.
Brain fart.
I had a brain fart, total brain fart. Dang it.
I'm feeling that, man. It's like 2.
Oh
2
yeah,
a.m.
shit. We were going
That's
extra
Oh
long.
shit!
That's right.
You're
We gotta wrap this up real quick. Shout out to Jason Tonge in chat. What's going on, buddy? Good to see you here.
Jason, tons of fun. What's up, homie?
Tons of fun.
Former fat guy. Well, I'm still fat, but former fat guy like myself.
Yeah, shout out
appreciate
everyone
Jason.
in the chat, man. Shout out
Yeah,
Dempsey
really.
and Jim for
Freaking
being
legends.
here, and Shocker.
Yeah, it is what, 8,
long
9,
day.
10, 11, 12, 1, 2. It's like 3 in the morning for you right now, Kenzo? Oh god.
But no, it's just like 2:15.
Okay, we're past 2. Okay.
I've got to take my wife to the dentist in the morning.
Alrighty.
Oh my sweet goodness.
We
Oh,
will-
my sweet goodness.
Alrighty then. We'll any other let's run through real quick best tracks on here, favorite tracks, last thoughts, and we'll get out of here.
Savannah, if these scars could speak, and Skin Like Winter. I'm just throwing that out there.
I didn't know any of them. like
me
I said,
me
I was
neither,
the
but
same
the
with-
whole thing was a banger.
You
Yeah.
pulled a static and you're like the whole thing was
I
just one
enjoyed
great
it,
song.
and now that Static said that there is a later stuff with alternate singing and going in hard, I'm going to look out for that. as well.
Same here.
Definitely gonna put this band on my rotation, and check out more Zayo, check out
Cheers,
more
Static.
Killswitch Engage, because I slept on them back in the day, so I gotta catch up with them. And yeah, man, all these bands have been bangers, and all these albums have been awesome. Static, what's your favorite song on here?
Are the same ones that Jake
Jake just said.
Savannah's up there. The freaking Desire to End, Skin Like Winter. Like the whole, I just love the whole freaking album.
I could identify the song by the fucking nasty riff. So if there was a
Yeah.
if it's like, oh, that the one that goes, I'm like, oh yeah, that fucking riff was nasty. So when it comes to new albums that I hear for the first time, I know more by riffs than I do by track titles or numbers or anything like that. So, but
That's
no,
a
this
guitarist for you.
that is a guitarist for you, exactly. Hell yeah, no, yeah, all dude, yeah, tons of fucking, and the breakdowns in this were fucking nasty too. Oh yeah. This was definitely a good one. Everybody, check out Zayo. Liberté de Fernese.
I definitely had to tell the homies that I wasn't going to be chilling in Discord while I was listening to this. I had to listen to it through my speakers. I had to take my hair down. And I had to head back to it. Absolutely, I had to.
Definitely a hair spinning fucking
Oh yeah. Oh dude, windmilling like crazy. Oh yeah.
fucking amazing. Yeah, no, dude, yeah. Can't say enough that other than my album, the other 3 choices, because I've never heard any of these, fucking great choices, guys. This is why I do the book club.
Yeah, for sure.
Very I love listening to everybody's favorite choices or just underrated choices that you just passed you by, bands that you never even heard of, like this one. And yeah, so thank you guys for coming on and opening my eyes to some dope music. Heck yeah.
Brother.
Alrighty,
Oh,
well,
yeah. You're so
we'll
very welcome.
do outros. Thanks again, everyone in chat. Y'all have been popping off. Freaking, I think this is like my most views on a stream, the most chats going
We're
on
so
off.
popular. That's why.
It's because y'all brought them. Thank you so much, guys. But yeah, let's do some outros. Kenzo, we'll do you first since you look like you sound like you're about to fall asleep.
Y'all can follow me on Twitter. It's Art by Kenzo. But as far as streaming, I'm keeping my head down for a bit. I'm working on this animation project over the next couple of weeks, so I might pop up on someone's stream now and then, but I've got nothing planned.
Okay. Until the pub opens back up.
Oh, of course. Until the pub is back, then I'm regularly streaming for sure.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, thanks for having me on, Paul, and thanks to chat. It's been good, and you definitely all picked a decent one.
Yeah. I
had fun listening to them all today at short notice. It was good.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah, that for you, Ken. I really appreciate you coming on to literally the last minute.
Yeah,
really.
For sure.
Nah, man, I'll be up for coming on again. I had a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. I alternate between movies and music, so if you ever want to come on a movie one or just talk more music, and that goes to everyone in chat, join my Discord, hit the link tree, join the Discord, because that's where all the discussion happens on who's coming on next, what's next, and yeah, I eventually want to do a community pick, so we'll just pick,
very nice.
like have people pick movies or an album, and then we get, we don't get to choose as the panelist. I'll pick a panelist separate, and then the community chooses 4 albums. I'll either choose a randomizer and just randomly pick 4 or vote it in or something like that. Okay. But yeah, I want to definitely get more people involved. Y'all are just popping off in the chat, enjoying. I know there's not many music streams talking about albums or just music in general. So yeah, I'm glad to see everyone popping up and showing their passion for their favorite bands and all that stuff. So. Right. And hell yeah. Static, what do you got going on?
Yeah, you can catch me tomorrow night on my channel Static 2020 as we're going to talk about The Acolyte. The only reason I'm watching this show is because I was hoping it was going to be as racist and or sexist as Velma. Because I love that shit. I love it when they're just so blatantly fucking oblivious to what they're doing. I haven't gotten that yet with the first 2 episodes from what I can see, but from what I understand, the 3rd episode's a doozy. So
boy,
check me out on my channel tomorrow night, and then I've got Monday Night Bloodbath. I jump on this Ballbusters thing randomly. I fill in for this dude named Devil right now.
Shout out Devil.
Channel.
Devil.
That's pretty much it.
Right on. Right fucking on. Everybody. I was fucking rushing to put all this together. I didn't get to put your guy. I will right after this is over. I'm gonna have all the links in the description. They're not there right now, but they will be. So heck yeah, everybody check out Static 2020. Great shit. I gotta get back on either the Monday Night Bloodbath or the pregame. Gotta come back on. Shout out to Neo. I saw him a couple times on your show.
Yeah, Neo's one of the co-hosts on the Bloodbath whenever he can make it.
Hell yeah.
Neo is such a great dude. I heard Jason Tongate express that Neo, for like this kind of like fractaled out group of friends, he is someone who just wants people on, and we're dropping politics, we drop harsh language, we drop religion, and we just talk about games when we're on his channel.
Yeah.
And he's like a glue. He's like the glue that keeps this kind of disparate group of people together and constantly interacting with each other and be on other people's shows. So shout out to Nerdy Neo.
Nerdy Neo
is what a great guy.
He is the one.
Great guy.
He is the one.
He's beginning to believe.
Hell yeah.
And real quick, I'll just knock my stuff out. Yeah. My name is Jake. Jake to make things easier on people. If you want to find me, I am BIGGDOGGJAKE. I am a professional, though occasional, VOA for hire. I am a political writer and analyst for hire. I love video games. I love metal music, and I will talk to anyone about them. You can find me at BIGGDOGGJAKE on Twitter /X, Beware Politics. You can find me on Instagram. You can also find me under the same name on Discord. If you want to send me a friend request, shoot me a message. We can talk about video games. We can talk about music. We can talk about politics. We can talk about voiceover work. I'd love to be hired for something. I'd love to just chat and make new friends. As far as things I have coming up, I have nothing else necessarily coming up this week. Next week on Monday, I'm a regular co-host on Off the Hip with Alec Baldwin's Fingers. Shout out to the GCA, hail to 199. And next Saturday is the possible relaunch with Charlie for Goes Nowhere Does Nothing. Possible relaunch of Fish Tank. So
nice.
Potentially that'll be coming up. But otherwise, I am keeping myself free the rest of this week. Keep myself free the rest of next week, because it'll be my fiance Anna's birthday, and I would like to be here be there for her.
Another birthday in June. Goddamn, we got so many
Indeed. So,
June birthdays. It's crazy.
what are you gonna do? End of November, beginning of December, it gets cold. People want to be indoors. Shit happens. You know.
That makes sense. That makes
I've
sense.
been Jake Paul. Thank you so much for having me on my second episode of Book Club. I really appreciate being here. Look forward to doing it again.
Greatly appreciate y'all coming on. And as for me, y'all are here on my channel. Book clubs are gonna be, I'm trying to aim for Wednesdays. I was moving it around a bit, but I think I'm aiming at Wednesdays at this time, just so people to know when to show up and all that. And next week, speaking of Nerdy Neo, we got Nerdy Neo coming on for sci-fi thrillers book club next week. Should be a blast. And then just gaming throughout the rest of the week. Fridays are Survival Crafting Fridays with Grounded with Gabs and Insidious Bliss. Saturdays Company Boys with Bliss and DJ Access and guest.
Shout out Seth. Shout out DJ.
Shout out to everyone. And Sundays are usually Halo days with Dude and Bliss and gonna be Neo. But I think we are skipping another week or two. For 1 week is going to be Father's Day. The other week, Neo's not available. So I think in like 3 weeks, Sundays are going to be, we're starting Halo 3 co-op.
Let's go.
And then, yeah, what else? Tuesdays, Gruesome Tuesdays where me and Gabs play co-op games. Gaming throughout the week. I don't really do music. I just play video games. Eventually, I either got to record make some music in private or do some music streams available, but they'll eventually
stream it while you mix it.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of was starting a show called Inside the Studio or Inside the Control Room, whatever the fuck I called it. But I'm gonna probably get back to that and do some more, like live editing, live recording type stuff. I gotta get back to music. It's just I'm here in my upper room where all the gaming stuff is and all my music stuff's in the basement, so I have to take my streaming and my cameras and all that down there when everything's nice and set up here. But I do gotta eventually get back to it. But real quick, I'm gonna shill one more thing. If you see my Ko-fi link at the bottom left screen, if you are interested in getting some custom music made, I have opened up the what's that thing called, commission store on Ko-fi for you want a minute of music, 2 minutes. I got it by minutes. Essentially it's like $25 a minute. I think I've priced it out at. So if you want a 2-minute song, 4-minute song, whatever, then let me know. Commission me for some original music. I'll make your intro or whatever, and that will be the proper channels to excuse me, to go through.
Music side scrollers, nerds. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I made the music to side scrollers. You know that fucking hard news music?
The #1 gaming podcast. Hard news.
I made that. I made that. No, but yeah, no. I just want to show that out real quick. And also, you could become a member at Ko-fi. That's the only place I have current membership. Shout out to Melee Games for being the Light Hadouken members. Gotta give them a shout out. And Insidious Bliss is just executive producer on this channel, so
of course.
He's honorary.
Pays everyone's mortgage.
He is the Jason, real quick in chat, saying I'll have to figure out something for shovelware with you. Jason Tange, great talk show, and actually he is the one I want to talk to you, Jason, with setting up a night or a trivia night on the pub. So do a pub trivia night, doing the shovelware type style Jeopardy thing. I gotta hit up Jason, and maybe the first night on the pub will be a trivia night. And then Devil will be jealous. He'll be like, "Oh boy, I wish I was on this episode." No.
Shouldn't have handed the keys to the pub over to.
Shouldn't have handed over the hell over to me, Devil. But shout out to Devil, who made a rare appearance on his
in the wild too.
Just out in the wild.
Miss you, homie.
We miss you. We love you. And we hope you get your shit done and get back to us as soon as possible, because I don't know how long
your real life.
I don't know how long I'll be able to hold hell over for. I don't know how long I'll hold it for. So Shaka Zulu said,
cool down a little bit, guys.
It is
pandemonium down here.
I'm gonna be just using the flames of hell to light up my joints, and it's no longer, the smoke is gonna dye all the flames out. You can't let that happen, dude. You can't.
Hot box in hell, homie.
Hot box in hell. That's what I'm doing. But shout out
Great
again.
show name.
Yeah.
You can take that one.
Hotboxing in Hell. There we go. Me and Devil got to do a fucking show. Me, Devil, and Kenzo. Oh, I guess we should just change the pub to Hotboxing in Hell. Alrighty, guys. Shout out again to chat. Shout out to my panelists. Y'all have been fucking all amazing. And we'll see you on the next one, guys. Wave. I'm gonna do Static's thing. Wave awkwardly to the
Take care,
camera.
guys.
Bye.
Be well. Peace out. Horns up. And fucking rock on, guys. Take care.
Laters. All right.